Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Midnight. Modern WoW continues to Modern WoW. So, before we go any further, before we move even one step forward, I want to share something. So, I was going to do Midnight on Gailote here. I've even got a custom outfit set up for her. I'm actually really proud of it. Check it out. It's awesome. I think it's awesome. I'm wielding corn in my right hand and carrots in my left hand, if you're wondering. But then I realized something. Quite a few players have expressed a desire to do stuff with me, most notably delves and dungeons, while we're going through this, possibly raids. So it's like, Gailota's Alliance. And while you can do an enormous quantity of content cross-faction nowadays, one of the very few things you cannot do is doing like LFR or LFG. And I realized that that would potentially cause issues. So Gailota is going to get shelved. So instead, we're going to be playing someone else. Now I know what you're thinking. Who? That is why we have a poll set up here. So let me go ahead and run this here. The reason why is code issues, to put it very, very simply. They have been very consistent. No, not that although you could vote there too. They have been very consistently chopping away at limitations between the factions for years at this point. But it has very much been a slow-moding process because the problem was, WoW, I think I've talked about this, WoW was in many ways based off of Dark Ages of Camelot back in the day. And as a consequence of that, the faction system is baked into the very bones of the game, like way, way down deep into the fundamental code. So simply having, like the idea was tenored very early on of just making it so that everyone is part of the same faction flag, which is actually very easy to do. They've been able to do that since, like, BC, right? The problem is that starts causing bugs and glitches absolutely everywhere. Because, again, the faction system is baked into the very bones of the game. So at this point, I believe there's only 3 things left you can't do across faction, and it's just 2 of them happen to be stuff I want to. So, go ahead and make sure that this is correct. So I'm not actually going to put up Swift Shot as an option because he'd just win. Plus, Swift Shot, he's chilling. He's retired. Midnight's a little bit too serious of an expansion for someone like Swift Shot. He needs to chill. We'll see him again in The Last Titan. No, really, we will. So I'm going to offer you 2 options. Horde Runner or Lore Runner. Now, the poll is up live. You should be able to see it on your Twitch chat right now. But here's Horde Runner. You remember him. We actually played War Within for him. This is actually his real gear, except for the code right now. He is a Paladin Earthen, and he's a total badass. Lore Runner, you don't know who he is. He's this guy down here. He is a Blood Elf Demon Hunter. Try to be shocked. And his name is, you know, Lore Runner, because I somehow was able to secure the name Lore Runner. I also have Lorigon while we're here. That's just a... I also grabbed Ironheart as my Harandar. That's kind of cool. So does anybody know how to vote on mobile? Because I actually think you can't. Like, I feel like I've run into that issue before. Hey, I appreciate it, Rax. I've said this before and I'll say this again. When I recommend WoW to you, it's not like, join the cult. It's like, I think you will like this game. That's the mentality going into it. I mean, honestly, I'm the exact same way about FF14. Both games have these barriers, these obstacles to enjoying them. Once you get over that, it's like, yeah! You can quote me on that. WoW and FF14 are like, yeah! Yeah, they're like, yeah! No, they're not like that. They're not like that. Okay, Lore Runner wins! Woo! Okay. So, there's this new feature, that I want to show off briefly. I don't actually remember when this came out. I should look this up. Because this might have been a patch within thing. I just want to show it off anyways.
The Arathi Highlands, once bitterly contested, have seen a tenuous ceasefire between the Horde and the Alliance. But though the armistice brought a measure of peace, a new threat has thrown the region into chaos. Stormguard is under siege, and Hammerfall has suffered heavy losses. You have answered the call for aid, and stand ready to join the fight. Band together with the Horde and the Alliance to secure the Arathi Highlands.
Hang on one second. I just want to make sure we gave this... Oh, there it is. I did actually already give this positive. Okay, cool. That sucks. Give me 1 second to fix a few add-ons, because I haven't logged in this character for a minute. Okay, I need this, and then this. This based off of need. Here, load that. There we go. Make sure to get that. Make sure to get that, and make sure to get that and that. Okay. I love how many players are here doing this. Can I just say that? No, that's going live with the next patch, which is, I believe, mid-August, like August 11th, I want to say. Yeah, there's a lot of players here. So, I still kind of want to show this off a little bit. It's really quick, don't worry. This doesn't count for the midnight review because this was War Within content. I already gave it a positive. But, yeah, dead game. This is the catch-up. This is the catch-up mechanic. You saw when I hopped onto my character, it was like, hey, do you want to just log in where you were, or do you want to jump into the catch-up? So the catch-up is exactly what it sounds like. It'll give you a full suit of gear, some inventory space stuff, bags. It'll actually help you out with mounting, if you haven't mounted before. It's for new or returning players. Oh, is that... Who is this person? Who is this person? It's Mr. Red. Hey, Mr. Red. It's... here, let me see. Here, come here. Let me see your drip. This is not my drip. This is just what I have equipped. There we go. There we go. Check that out. Check that out. It's basically awesome. Like, I know I'm not doing a good job of selling this, but you know how sometimes something does something right in like 5 or 6 different ways simultaneously? That's what this zone is. It's got good story. It's good for new players. It's good for returning players. It gets people caught up on the current story arc that's going on. It helps remind people the Horde versus Alliance thing is dead and gone and is staying that way, no matter what other people say. But it also is... It's conveying several new mechanics that are relatively new to the game, because not everyone has been playing in modern, what I call modern WoW, which is Dragonflight and onwards. And finally, it's fully optional. Like you saw when I was logging in, I could just opt in. You know what you could also do? And I don't remember the exact button, but there is a button somewhere. I think this is it. No. Here we go. Right here. Boom. There's a literal button in the tutorial. The adventure guide has been expanded in Midnight. So you can just be like, boop, and just warp here. Just to do it. Because the final thing this does right is there is an actual story here, and it is actually a neat little story. This is the Arathi Highlands, although this is the catch-up Arathi Highlands, which is a different zone. Anyways, I've already given all these positives. I just wanted to gush about it for a little bit, because one of the things I like most about Modern WoW is not that it does something right. Lots of games do something right. What Modern WoW does is a lot of things right. Lots of little nitty-gritty details, like Suikoden 2R, Shining Force, and Triangle Strategy. Thank you, as always, Ventures. I'm not going to be bowing that much because of the rib thing, so forgive me, but I do appreciate you. Thank you. Okay. So while we're here... What, Elizar? What? Oh, yeah. Wrath. Sure. Yes. Alright, so, WoW has also started baking several add-ons into the main game, which is great because now it means it gets credit for those. So let's show off a couple of these, shall we? I'm actually going to switch characters really quick because it's easier to show this off on another character, where I already have everything all set up. No, don't give... No, no, Evo, no! Please. Oh, don't. I'm begging you. Spare me. See, the problem, Ilizar, is I don't think that's actually a correct answer, which is why I was stalling and answering it. Because WoW Vanilla has a lot to do with Warcraft 3, and WoW BC has a lot to do with Warcraft 3, and WoW Wrath has a lot to do with Warcraft 3, and so does Kata, and so does Pandaria, and so does Warlords, and so does Legion. The first one that doesn't really have a lot to do with Warcraft 3 is BFA, which is much more coded towards Warcraft 2, as we showed when we were streaming it. I mean, it was Clay, so I'm not trying to overpraise, but... Alright, let me hop back on Zalash super quick here. I'm going to try not to start gushing about the best designed city in all of gaming. No, I mean that professionally. Love that artwork, too. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to look at the floor. We're looking at the floor. There's nothing here. But what I do want to show off... So, you see that thing right under my bar over here. This is my damage meter. And I should be able to... looks like I don't have anything on it. Poorly optimized. They're fixing that in about 2 weeks here. We just leave the best city ever here. We'll find anything. Literally anything. Anything, anything, anything. Hey, something. Okay, so, there's our damage meter. I currently have it set towards damage done, of course, of course. I can set it to overall, I can set it to an individual target. I've got all kinds of stuff here to make it non-interactive, or reset the data, or create a new window. Got multiple, it'll track damage done, damage per second, damage taken, avoidable damage taken, enemy damage taken, healing done, healing per second, interrupts, dispels, deaths. It will also give you details, as any good add-on will, of the exact number, abilities and percentages that you've got there. Now, most of this is fairly basic stuff for a damage meter. Like, if anybody's been using a damage meter across, you know, all of WoW's existence, since add-ons have been a thing, you're just looking at this like, and? But the reason I'm making a point to talk about this is because this is good. And it's baked into the game, which means the game gets credit for it. A player who sits down and plays WoW without add-ons still has access to this feature. It is, of course, still a feature. You can turn on or off. And there's ways to customize it and set up. Like, you see I've got the color coding thing going on and stuff like that. So that is awesome. Like, really awesome. I'm not done. So, unfortunately, I think it's going to be harder to properly show off some of the other stuff here. So let's go ahead and go up here. So we've got this thing called gameplay enhancements now, right? Yeah, no kidding. Baked in... I'm probably wrong, but this is the first major MMO I have played where the damage meter is just baked into the game. Yeah, I've seen the exact same thing as Brostar. I'm sure there's some other exception, probably some Korean MMO, that has a built-in damage meter. But, like, FF14 is anti-add-on, and Guild Wars 2 is a pain in the ass to set up, and blah, blah, blah. Coordinates are just in-game. That's just normal. This is just in-gamey stuff. Anyways, so... this is interesting. So, there's this thing called Click Cast Bindings. This allows you to customize certain abilities. What this is essentially doing is the same thing macros can do and have been able to do all the way since vanilla. That's funny, Evo. More moms need this feature. We need more moms with damage meters. Anyways, so you have... Sorry, I gotta rest my arm in a pretty specific manner, so... Okay, well, combat. Die. Die. Okay. So, This allows you to customize certain abilities to be set with control, or have context for it, or use your button, or just have mouse over text. All of this stuff is just cool things that you could do and have been able to do. Again, since vanilla with macros, it's just now there's an interface button that says, hey, would you like to do this? It's essentially adding a GUI to the existing macro functionality. That's good, plus the gameplay. Yeah, I mean, it's a WoW stream. Of course, I'm going to start by talking about a bunch of boring interfaces. I feel like, can I rant for just 1 second? I feel like I'm the only person in the goddamn world who actually cares about interface design. I know I'm not, because people will notice when interfaces are bad. But I always feel the need to praise a game that actually understands what good interface is. And hell, not just a game, anything, really. Like, you ever use DoorDash? Because DoorDash's interface is garbage. It's junk. Anyways. It's trash. All right. So yeah, let's talk about single button rotate. I don't remember if that's a midnight feature or not. I suppose the easiest way to check that would be to go see if I've given a positive for it. Because I would have. Because I'm gonna. So let's look at gameplay positive. Look real quick. Single button. Looks like... no. Okay. A modern site that people use on a regular basis that actually has good interface. LoreRunner.com. Oh, this is a rare. Whoops, I should move. I mean, YouTube's is trash. Google's is trash. Twitch's is trash. Stop existing. Why do you still exist? Fine. Fine. Cooldowns. Cooldowns. Die. Die. Go away. I skin you. I fight. Yeah, I think the one button thing was pre-patch. Scooch up here. We'll just park up here. That's a good stop. Good place to park. I'll just enjoy the view for a second. Best city in gaming over there. All right, so as I was saying, single button mode. Okay. Now, single button mode is something I've been asked a lot about, and I've gotten a lot of flack for because I am hugely in favor of it. Now, let me try to explain the specifics of why. First of all, just jot this down over here. So, it's exactly what it sounds like. You drag it out into your bar, and you just hit the one button. That's it. You hit one button, and it puts you through your general rotation. Now, that sounds pretty boring to me. I would never use that unless I was doing testing or whatever. But that's accessibility. One of the things that was brought up several times with regards to modern WoW is that some classes, some specs, are a little bit too button intensive. There's a lot of hitting buttons very quickly all across your entire bar, which can lead to cramped hand syndrome. This completely gets rid of that. And there are plenty of people who, you know, have atrophied limbs, or are old, or have some kind of debilitation, or whatever, any kind of thing that would make it more difficult for them to do your typical full rotation of however many buttons you got going on. This simplifies that. It makes it one button. So that's good just for basic accessibility reasons. The second reason it's good is because it helps players figure things out. So if you are uncertain of how to play your spec, or how to play your class, or you're trying something out for the first time, then it's like, you know what, I'm not sure how to play Shadow Priest. I can just drag that button off and pay attention and see what it tells me to cast and when. And I can kind of learn my rotation in-game. The third thing is that it's pretty smart in how it knows what you should do and when, but not too smart. Now, I know that sounds strange, but I'm listing that as a positive. The single button rotation is not perfect. It is generally good for all specs, but in some specs it'll be underperform, and in some specs it will overperform, depending on the individual class design. That makes sense. There's a lot of complexity to modern WoW class design, so it's never going to be able to be perfect. That is a good thing, because it does not remove the skill ceiling for a player who knows what they're doing and is putting their buttons manually. Finally, and one last little thing here, also true, Magister. One last little thing here is that your damage is nerfed while you're using the single button assistant. Once again, I list that as a good thing. If the single button assistant was too good, you know how players are, right? There's that wonderful age-old phrase that players will always optimize the fun out of a game. If the single button assistant was perfect and didn't have any damage debuff associated with it, then everyone would just go do mythics and high-end raids just spamming the one button, because that's better. So this is something that is not really there for high-end content, and that is, once again, a good thing. So, yeah, tons of praise for that. It's also something you could basically opt in and out of at will. Like, I could literally just drag this down here, and if I don't feel like bothering, like, I could put it on to, like, my number 2 button, for example. And so I can just have my rotation, but if for whatever reason I don't feel like bothering, or if I don't, know what to do next, I can just start hitting 2. Make sense? So it's gradient opt-in and out as well. Okay, so that's all awesome. Next one is... We already showed that. So this is related to that. The assisted highlight. This is what was just mentioned a few seconds ago by Magister. This makes it so that it essentially, rather than having the one button you press, the assisted highlight has the same algorithm going under the hood, and that is to say, you should use this ability next, you should use this ability next, but instead of giving you one button to do it, it highlights the specific ability that it wants you to use next. Now again, that's not always right, but it is yet another option in order to try and learn how to play your spec, either because you haven't played the game in a while, or you haven't played spec before, or whatever, right? So now we have boss warnings. Now, I was kind of uncertain about this. This is their replacement for DBM. This has grown on me quite a bit. Unfortunately, I can't reasonably show off the boss warnings thing without actually getting into a raid, but you can turn it off or on as a whim, which is always nice. You have text warnings, which change whether you have something specifically targeting, or if someone is targeting you. And you have a timer, which shows boss abilities, and you can hide long cooldowns, hide queued cooldowns, hide countdowns for other roles, and you can change the iconography based on icons, and you get it right here, right? This is actually pretty legit. In fact, I think... Yeah, okay, so I can kind of show it. You see this window over here on the left? That's what it looks like. So you can see right now, lightning is about to show off, and you see how there's an icon there? There's like a healer icon right here, and a tank icon, actually. It says, hey, the tank and the healer need to pay attention to this ability, and it's about to come here. 1 second, Brandon. Are you okay there? I don't think you're going to manage this, Mr. Red. Hi, Mr. Red. This is really well designed. First of all, it's a nice, quick, easy timeline that indicates when things are going to do what. Second of all, there's lots of little interfacey design stuff that goes into making it so you see who it's relevant for. There's a timer that shows exactly how many seconds it's going to be until it comes back. There's some little animation-y stuff, like it'll start pulsing when it's getting closer. It'll actually do a flash, or a little whoosh right there when it's actually happening. All kinds of cool stuff. And finally, and I can't show this off, but if you mouse over it, it'll tell you exactly what the ability is at a glance. That is a very good feature. It's not quite to the extent of DBM, but honestly, that might be a good thing. What's that called? The boss abilities. I swear they called it the timeline somewhere, but whatever. We'll just call it boss warnings. Yeah, Mr. Ed has some issues right now. Okay. Yeah, and again, all this is opt-in, as it usually is. So then we have the cooldown manager. This is actually one of my favorite new things. I'm going to sound so stupid. So this has been in for a minute. I only started really figuring out what this was a few weeks ago. The cooldown manager is so good. Oops. I hit the wrong button. This, right here. Okay. We'll go ahead. There's Mr. Red. So the cooldown manager is actually exactly what it sounds like. In fact, if you look, you'll see I have already got it set up over here on the left. You can set it per spec. You can save, so similar to your builds for talents, you can save and also export and import cooldown managers. So like, if I have a really good one set up for Havoc, Demon Hunter, I could share that with Mr. Ed and say, hey, I recommend this, you should use this one. And then Mr. Ed can actually load that and use that here. I don't play WoW with a controller, I don't know. I'm sorry. I know that they have a degree of controller support, I just haven't played it, so I don't know. Also, I don't remember where the text-to-speech is at. I'll have to check that in a minute. Anyways, so you could... First of all, you could search. This, as usual, the search feature is just awesome in this game. This is cooldowns. So it breaks this down into essential cooldowns and utility cooldowns. But you can also just say, you know what, I don't want to see the cooldown of this. You can just remove that. I don't want to see the cooldown of this. I don't want to see the cooldown of this. None of that. Go away, go away, go away. So now I can just see that and be like, hey, so we've got my interrupt, my consume, and then my big ones is the hunt, my big cooldown, and I actually need that one. And bear. I've only got 4 abilities I care about, which I'm now tracking the cooldown on something that I can move and adjust and put wherever I want it to. And I can just save this. Be like, let's save. So there we go. Boom. Done. And I can move this over here. Here's the actual thing. I could just change whether it shows the timer or not. I can change whether you can see the tooltips or not. I can make the icons huge and then small. And then huge and then small. I can change the direction of it to change how it's lined up. I can change it so it's vertical instead of horizontal. It's a lot of good options. Let me exit without saving, please. There we go, because I don't actually want to screw with that. But the other cool one, and this is the one that I only found out about recently. This is the one I was just making fun of myself more. Is this. So this is all cooldowns, and that's neat. But then there's buffs. Now, I want you to understand, I'm probably one of the only weirdos who uses buff timers extensively. But there's a lot of class design in WoW since freaking vanilla that really benefits from seeing how long of a buff you have left or how long of a debuff you have left or whatever. And I've had an add-on for years that I use for that. It's called Need to Know. Need to Know has not really been updated from the modern WoW, and that sucks. But now it's just here. It's just in the game. It's like, I want to see the cooldown on how long I have left on Immolation Aura. And you'd go ahead and track this up here. And let's go ahead and save that. And then if I just do this, you see it's now showing me exactly how long I have left on Immolate. But hang on, not quite done. You can also do that as a bar. And now you can actually see the bar over there in the lower left. And that's my Immolate, and how many Immolates I have left. That's awesome. This is one of my... This, for the longest time, Need to Know was one of my absolutely have-to-have-it add-ons. You know, the ones that I consider mandatory, along with, like, Bartender and X-Pearl. It's just in the game now. It's just in the game. Of all add-ons for them to bake into the game, it was some random-ass little dinky add-on nobody's ever even heard of. I am well pleased. But that's why I'm kind of like doing this whole infographic thing. Advanced cooldown settings, and then buffs, and you can track buffs here, or track, and you can track like all kinds. You can just put everything up here if you want to. Just, and you can, as usual, move these around, adjust them, etc. That's good. Oh yeah, you can also do this. I forgot about this. So you can assign this to tracked buffs as well. You can do a new alert, and you can say, hey, I want a sound to play whenever this is applied or removed, and I can set a sound effect to play, you know. Hang on, I want that sound to play whenever I put on Immolate. So there's a sound aspect to it, too. Have I mentioned this is good interface design? Like, really good interface design. Let's go get rid of all that, because I actually don't want all that. No, wait! Hang on. So I don't actually want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. Okay. I think that's all of the interfacey stuff I want to show off. But yeah, gameplay enhancements is what they call their add-ons thing. There's also the diminishing returns tracking, which is exactly what it sounds like. The damage meter, which I already told you about. External defenses, which is kind of a side thing. Is there such a thing as too good? No. Now, I promised I'd check. But I'm almost positive that we're still at the point where you need an add-on to have text-to-speech. I'm wrong. There it is. Huh.
This is an example of text-to-speech.
Yeah, never mind. So... Interesting. Hang on a second.
Attention, everyone! A cause for celebration. Our dear champion has arrived.
Can I just say, I don't even care. I love doing the soiree. I don't even want to hear it.
Anu Balor Delana. Do come back again.
I don't even care. I don't even want to hear it. So let's do things. So now this is interesting. There's also enable combat audio alerts, which is exactly what it sounds like. And it will say when combat has started, when combat has ended, what your current health is, the format of how it says your health, which voice you use. You could say your target name. You could say if you're targeted, it'll say aggro. It'll say target health. It'll say when target dies. It'll say party health. It'll say your current resources for your whatever spec you're currently playing. It'll say what spell you're currently casting, what your target is currently casting, if it's interruptible, if you have interrupted, if you've just been debuffed. All of this is text-to-speech options, and these are new. I think this actually does deserve a positive. Put that under accessibility. That's this is new to me. I haven't seen this lately. This is impressive. It's called Audio Assist, and yeah. I don't know how blind you could be to play this game, but that's definitely a step forward. Oh yeah, by the way, super quick thing, and I've turned this off now. You could turn off some of the speed effects on skywriting to make it less, irritating to look at when you're doing it. Hang on, I gotta go do the most important thing of all, decor. Let's see, what have we got? Is there anything I haven't bought that I care about? Looks like no. Well, there is a Sanctum focus I haven't purchased. But I mean, who cares about that? Honestly, does anybody care about decor? Don't be ridiculous. Actually, some people have been wondering if we're going to start with housing, and that was the original intent. However, it has been requested by multiple people to go ahead and put off the housing thing until tomorrow. Let me just say really quick that WoW's player housing is the best housing that an MMO has ever had. The end. And it makes sense. For those of you not aware, and I'll talk about this more tomorrow when we really start digging into it, they started working on housing during early Shadowlands. Housing came out with Midnight. It's about 6 years. They spent about 6 years developing housing. And they had an entire team whose entire job was just to polish up housing, which, by the way, they are still doing. The upcoming patch in August 11th or whatever it is also going to include housing improvements. Speaking of, someone asked how to warp. I think it was Braven. So I have it bound to P, which is where my housing dashboard is. There's literally a teleport to plot option. You just pop right there. Otherwise, there is a portal in both of the portal hubs in Stormwind and Orgrimmar. I'm sorry, I've got so much to talk about, Breaker. You know how this is. Whenever we start an MMO, there's just this cavalcade of stuff to talk about right up front. We're not doing endeavors this month. No, it's okay. I understand. This is the grumble one. Ugh, I'm disgusted by it. Ugh. Yeah, they have an entire team. All right. And don't worry, I'm going to turbo gush about housing later. But like I said, I promised I'd leave it off. So let me double check my notes, because I have a few notes here of stuff I want to talk about interface-wise. Nameplates were improved. I kind of already mentioned that. Journeys is a whole thing, which, yeah, I kind of mentioned that up here. In fact, actually, let me switch back to Lore Runner for a second. Who is not 90 or 100 or whatever current level cap is. Nameplates, rate frames. Excuse me. Ugh. Yeah, by the way, I'm not committing to my usual 8-hour work days right now because I'm rib. And for those of you who've never experienced that, it's just kind of a constant dull ache that slowly gets worse until you rest. So when it gets to a certain point, and don't worry, I'll take care of myself. But when it gets to a certain point, I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm good. Oh, you know what, Evo? You know what I should? I know, right, Maverick? Evo was like freaking out Friday, like, oh my god, you're starting the midnight stream and my house is totally unfinished. And I'm like, uh-huh. Yeah, I've seen what you consider unfinished. So the suggested content thing has gotten a little bit better too. This is basically for people who don't know what they want to do. In fact, I notice it's literally pushing me towards the Dominaire content, which just came out. That's kind of funny. And player housing, hey, what do you know? There's also all the dungeons, all the raids, and the catch-up experience, which I am currently in the middle of. But hang on, before I do the catch-up experience, Evo is correct. There's something I want to do here. Oh, tell me about it, Ben, won't I? So, you want to hear the most pathetic complaint I have about this? So, it's on my left side. It's right here, right? It's like up here. And, I sleep on my left side for various reasons. Like, that's just the most comfortable for me. I can't sleep on my left side right now, so I've been having to sleep on my right side. And I just keep waking up periodically, being uncomfortable because I'm on my right side. Whoops. Anyways. Now, to be clear, the thing I'm about to show you, I cannot give positives or negatives to. Sadness. I cannot sleep on my back. I can't breathe when I'm laying down on my back. That's not hyperbole. Something about laying down like this will close my air tubes. I cannot breathe. Ignore the best city in the game. Ignore it. Ignore it. So, there's this feature, which is a temporary feature. I really hope they do something more with this in the future. I'm just going to do this without Evo. No housing duel for you. There's nothing to see. There's nothing to see. There's nothing to see. Alright. So this is, decor duels.
With perseverance, strength. Aldi El Shalah.
I've heard that too, Matchstrip. We'll see what they do with it. I kind of hope they expand on it, because it's a great idea. Right now it's only one arena, and there's only so many doodads you can interact with, but... Oh, right, hang on, let me pretend that we're playing FF11 for a second. Yeah, so if you ever heard of prop hunt, good luck, Ben. This is prop hunt. Have you not done this, Mr. Red? You should do it at least once. Okay, so I'm gonna go and give away my two favorite hiding spots. One is right here. You have to really work at it to even see you right here. But the other one, and this is my patent pen. This is my spot. Okay, I'm dead serious. It's right here. Just kind of get up in between these two crates. Nobody ever notices this spot. Like, anytime someone gets me here, it's because they got lucky. Like, they just happen to be spamming in the area. Because there's a lot of default spots, which people are like, oh my god, spot over there. Now I'm gonna laugh if they just... Oh, do you see that? Just got me immediately. Just got me immediately. You see what I mean, though? Just pure luck is what got me there. So while I've been caught, let me go ahead and show off some of the other common spots. Hiding over in this corner is really common. There's the Evo spot, which someone just got tagged in. It's this bush over here. Right here. Some of the decor you can hide in. The problem is the Evo spot, I've noticed, is really common. And so people tend to beeline for it. No, pun intended. There's also the statue spot. This is one of the first places I check when I'm seeking, right over here, behind the statue. There were some buggy spots people use where they could, like, sort of go out of the terrain and glitch the system. Those don't work anymore because this was actually patched. Go figure. There's tons of stuff here, but I don't really see anybody hiding over here. Let's see. Is it really? Oh, it is. That's funny. I don't know why they didn't take. There we go. Thank you for pointing that out, Ballroom. Changed that yesterday. So there's the jumping puzzle, which is going to be really hard for me to do while I'm eyeballs. So I'm not going to promise to succeed at this. Ah! Okay, anyway, so there's the jumping puzzle where you jump over to there, and then there's like a second jumping puzzle, which is even harder to get up to there, and that is a super good spot, unless the player knows how to get up there, in which case it's another obvious hiding spot. I love how I got caught immediately. That's just great. Usually what happens is I'm just sitting here waiting for most of the match, and then occasionally someone gets lucky and spams in the area and happens to see me. Oh, we all got found. Okay, so let's show what seeking looks like. So there's 3 classes. What am I right now? Looks like I'm the Spellbreaker, which is my personal favorite. The Spellbreaker has a hup, which is why I like it. The Arcane Ranger is exactly what it sounds like. It's ranged, and the Nullifier is a big ol' AoE spell, like big ol' AoE detection thing. I'll show off the Spellbreaker for you guys. And we wait while they hide. So now I can show off the jumping puzzle because I'm playing a Spellbreaker. Now, there used to be flies that you could use to find people. They got rid of the flies. I'm actually sad about that, to be quite honest with you. Because it was a skill thing, right? You had to be very careful to notice the flies. But if you did... Oof. Okay, so let's scooch up here. Scooch a bit over here. And then... Boop. Ah, and then miss completely. No! I suck at everything. Like I said, there's a hub. And there's a spammable thing, which just gets a cone in front of you like that. The idea is you have to use one of your abilities to reveal them. I already fixed it. I already fixed it. It's fixed. It's fixed! You're supposed to reveal with whatever your ability is. Each class has their own thing. Oh, I saw that. There he is. No! No! He stunned me! He stunned me! Yeah, got him. Anyways. And then you have to hit 1. And you have to be in melee range to hit 1. 1 is tag, you're it. And that's kind of it. That's the whole thing. It is surprisingly fun. Ah! I suck at everything. Whatever. I guess I'll go check the usual spots. What do we got left? 3 people left. I really hope they bring this back and do even more. Yeah, flies, I liked the flies, but again, I can pay attention. The whistling is still there. This is something Magister mentioned. Oh, speaking of which, is anybody in the spot? Oh my god, someone is in the spot. Oh, I got bad news for you. I know how to get to the spot. Oh wow, they moved. So this is actually a really hard spot to reach unless you get the hub. But that's why I like Spellbreaker, because it has the hub. Checking the bushes while I'm here. No, we're gonna lose! No! No! I used to have an extremely good catching rate. You know, tagging rate. Then they got rid of flies, and apparently that was all I was relying on. Because I can't catch for beans nowadays. I bet they're up. I bet they're up at the jumping puzzle. I just missed them this whole time. Ah, well, we lost. No. It's okay, you just get less resources if you lose. And I don't need any at this point. Like, how many coins do I have right now? 610. I have nothing to buy. I have nothing left to buy. So, you want to hear a funny story, as a Star? Ah. So, as you can see, I have all the achieves as well. But if you know how this is organized, you can see the last achievement was be the last untagged hider on your team. Yes, we did, Kenexer. So the reason that took me so long is because I kept running into the same situation where me and like one or two other people would all be untagged at the end. And I don't get the achievement that way. And so that just kept happening over and over and over. We were doing this daily because we wanted all the achievements and we wanted all the decor and cosmetics. And I just could not seem to be the only person left who was untagged at the very end of a decor duel. Like, come on, guys! At one point, I was actually doing it with a couple of friends, and it was down to the three of us. And I was like, could you guys take a dive for me, please? So I can be the last one untagged, please. Please. You'll notice the first one I got was stay unfound for a minute and a half. Anyways.
Glory to the Sindorai.
Yeah, I have all
We
this
will
stuff.
have justice.
I could get duplicates, but why would I? I could get a cook pot, I guess. I don't know, garden swing? Sure, let's get another garden swing right now. And we'll get the cook pot, one of these things. Some arc fruit, Arkandor fruit, why not? Maybe some more Arkandor fruit. Some lumber. Why does it say positives? Well, at the moment, it's because it's the same reason holidays don't get positives, Mr. Red. It is a temporary event. Even if they bring this back, if it turns into a holiday, which it is currently classified as, then yeah, it doesn't count and it doesn't get positives. Yeah, it's temporary. You should do this. Here, I'll do a match with you right now if you want to. Who you want? Who you want? You're on a filthy alliance scum. Ugh, disgusting. Fine. A few more of these. God, I don't actually remember all of the things you get from this. By the way, this armor is super badass. I'm just saying, this is part of the Summer Sun Festival. Don't remember what all it gives. It's been a while. I know everyone looks the B. I'm not one of those people. What's it freaking called? What's the B called? There it is. This is the B. I guess I can just hop on it. Hang on. It looks like this. Let's go to my log off spot here. Yeah, so I don't know if you've seen as Miristar, FF14 in the next expansion is making moves to finally effectively add cross-region play. For effectively the first time. That's awesome. Which means that FF14 is the first of the big three to have cross-region play. WoW doesn't have it for technical issues, and Guild Wars 2 doesn't have it. I have no idea why. We know it's a tech issue As in, we know it is a technical problem. We don't know what that problem is because they've been very tight-lipped about it. But they have flat out stated, if we could have done it, we would have already done it. Yeah, it's something to do with how they do their server architecture. It's the kind of thing that's probably going to take an entire dedicated team sometime to implement. What's the stupid thing called? Hang on one second, Mr. Red. I apologize. Is this it? Yeah, that looks like it. So, this is the latest 6-month reward. I got it immediately because, of course I did. I've been subscribed to WoW since Dragonfly came out. It looks weird when it's moving around on the ground. I think it does, anyways. It is a strange ground mount. It is a much more interesting flying mount. And yeah, they almost always do these kind of mounts as test beds for riggings and for meshes, I guess? No, that's wrong. Whatever. The thing that isn't a rigging, a mesh, or attached, I think of the name of, in order to set up new stuff. Anyways,
Glory to the Sindorai.
let's do a Decora duel with Mr.
Sunrose
Red.
glory shine on you.
The moth pet, probably. I have many moth pets. Look at all my moths. Look at my moths. I got moths for days. No, I really do. These are all moths. I have so many moths. Oh my god. Is that it? No, that's not it. I mean, yeah, Northrend. I'm so looking forward to seeing what they do at Northrend. Come on, just Blizzard, not Blizzard. Sorry, Microslop. Microslop. I know you're desperately trying to kill yourself as fast and as hard as you can in your race to the bottom. I understand that you're trying to match Sony, which is almost assuredly doing a pump and dump scheme. But please, do me a favor. Chillax for like 3 years. That's all I'm asking. Let The Last Titan come out, okay? Please. Then you can ruin everything. Thank you, MCU. Yeah, just give us this, please. So far, I've been looking into this, by the way. So far, the biggest reason why Microslop hasn't fired a bunch of Blizzard employees, it's not because they're making money. It's not because they're, cool or valuable or because anybody cares. It's actually just for one very simple reason. It's because Blizzard is super unionized. I'm not joking. If you check most of the companies that got axed, they either didn't have unions or had limited unions. Blizzard, for those of you not aware, actually set a record a little over a year ago for having one of the first wall-to-wall unions in gaming, like just in general in the gaming space. For those of you who don't know what that means, wall-to-wall mean usually a union is like the QA department has their union, the art designers have their union, the middle managers have a union, the network engineers have a union, etc., etc. A wall-to-wall union means it's everybody in the company. It's everyone in an entire section of a company. And Blizzard, like I said, set a record for having the first wall-to-wall union in the gaming industry. And they're all a part of it, and that is awesome. And hey, they didn't get fired. You know who did get fired? Almost the entire China WoW staff got fired. For those of you not aware, WoW China is basically a different company in every way that matters. Like, they maintain their own builds and versions of the game and stuff like that. And yeah, those guys weren't unionized because they were based in China. They got massive layoffs. As everywhere else did, I suppose. Yeah, also that one idiot. See, the thing that really blows my mind about that one idiot, and I'm going to call him that one idiot, is because he had to have known that they track that kind of thing. Because they've been tracking that kind of thing since Wrath. They have their own tools and infrastructure specifically designed to make sure that GMs don't abuse. Do you know why? It's because not only did WoW have a problem with that in vanilla, but also the people developing WoW used to play old MMOs in the Silver Era. Guess what Silver Era MMOs were plagued with? That's right, corrupt GMs. Oh, hello. Yeah. Gotcha. So some idiot, whose name is going to continue to be that idiot, decided to go ahead and help one of the... Oh, hello. Help one of his friends or whatever. Like, I don't know the details, and honestly, we probably will never know the details of this. But he decided to help during one of the Mythic races. The high-end Mythic Plus races. And so he popped in and was using the Kill Touch ability that GMs have in order to kill mobs a little bit faster, in like a precise, you know, here, let me help you out in a way that looks like you're not, that you're not getting help kind of a way. Unfortunately, again, tools exist to track that kind of thing. And have for years. Come on, come on, come on. No! I got stunned! No! No! Oh my god, come on! No! He's out of... Oh, I lost him, I lost him. Okay, there he is. That stun is so long. Okay, okay. Really, it's this guy! Got him. Well, the reason he got caught was because they have tools to track that sort of thing. Like, obviously, the community caught him because, you know, the pug was like, hold on a second. But he was... Whoever it was an investigation. Like, if you check the timeline, he was an investigation already, which to me means that probably wasn't the first time he had done that. All right, Mr. Red, I want to see your best hideout spot. Are you stealing my... You're stealing mine, aren't you? You're stealing my hideout spot? No! It's okay. I accept it. I accept it. Okay. I'll take the PAX spot. So I guess I can talk a little bit more about the options you have as a decor. So obviously you can change your appearance. You can swap with a nearby thing. You can lay down a trap. You can stun, which is a huge stun, as you've seen already. And you can put out a decoy. There we go. That's nice and difficult to see, right? Right. We'll just kind of hide here. We'll just chill. And yes, this is Mimicon. And yeah, by the way, in case it's not obvious, that dude was fired. Blatant... Uh-oh. No! Blatant violation of the terms of service, whether you're in a union or not, is still going to get your ass canned. Oh, sure, now I can do this, now that I'm not actually trying to. Oh god, he's not coming after. Well, is this the jumping spot? Oh, he knows I'm here. He knows I'm here. He's coming for me. Oh lord, he coming. For the record, these jumps are much harder to do than they look. But I made it. I'm safe. You'll never get me. I'm safe. Unless you get up here. And there's an entire class whose entire job is to get up here. I forgot it. Turn into something else. And I have not seen the Mesmeric Star, but I look forward to it. I'm gonna laugh if they ever... So, something that's been mentioned a few times. Yes, I'm currently a pillow. Is that I tend to have more players participating in the FF14 streams. And the reason why is actually quite simple. It's because FF14 is cross-region play. Oh no, he saw me! He saw me! he's jumping at me. I'm right here! I'm right here. You can do it. You know, if you get up here, you deserve this. You can do it. Come on. I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm right here. Ah, he got me. He got me. But yeah, it's like, where the heck? Where were you hiding, Mr. Red? Where are you? Where are you? It's like, go down here. You're running away from me now. No, Evo! Sleep. Right here. Yeah, I've tried the ingot spots a few times. The problem is, if you see, like what you tend to see is what this guy just did, right? These areas are so rife for hiding that they're almost too obvious. And so most people will come through here and just spam in this whole area. Because there's just doodads everywhere, right? So surely there's someone there. I almost never find anybody in those stacks. Oh, you suck. Please share that when you get it. Anyways, FF14 has cross-region play. Not just the stuff they're doing like for the next expansion, but in general, it's a pain, but it's possible. By contrast, all of my European WoW players, I can't play with them, right? Like, Mr. Ed has a second account in order to play with me. So, like, if they ever solve whatever that technical hurdle is, I imagine that we will have a sudden uptick in players during WoW runs. And I'm going to finally force Giga to play WoW. Just straight up. Like, sorry, Giga, you have no choice in this. Anyways, that's Decor Hunt. It's going away soon, probably in about 2 to 3 weeks. It has a daily to do 2 Decor Hunts today, which gets you about, I think, 170 currency. And you can get pretty much everything comfortably. Do me a favor, Mr. Ed. Over here, over here. Look, talk to this guy. Right here. See if there's anything you like. Because, like, if there is, I will absolutely group with you on this, just to speed up your queue. If you want to grab some stuff. Because there's a lot of really cool stuff. Yeah, actually, to put it, exact same thing. And for the exact same reason. Because they all borrowed the same server infrastructure. Ignore the city, ignore the city. It's not there, it's not there. Let's go to the palace. You know, it's such an elven thing to do. Let's go ahead and have our central capital, like our main headquarters, be floating. There's nothing physical under this other than, you know, the ground. Elves, am I right? Anyways. Oh. Okay, good night, Evo. Oh yeah, by the way, for anybody familiar with Midnight, see anything strange when I look in that general direction? No spoilers, but, you know. If you know, you know. You want to see my spot as Mirror Star? It's right here. This is where I log off pretty much every day. There's no NPCs here. Nice little poofers. There's some hookahs. Let's ignore that. But there's wine. There's cheese. You know, there's grapes, and we've got little paints. You know, we got lovely paintings you can set up here. Just a nice little place to relax, chill. You know. Ignore the hookah. Yes, I have, Mr. Red. And I will do so on camera at some point. Wait, seriously, Dr. Winter? Oh, yeah, I do, actually, in response to your second question. But your first question surprised me. It was a little rushed. I actually agree with that, Master. I still think it's good, it's just not great. Anyway, so, you guys voted for Forerunner. It's part of the 67 crew down here. You'll notice I actually left one Horde and one Alliance at 67, just in case. Everyone else has been leveled up, but those two are just... they're just there. In the final zone? Where-ish? Because I bet I could guess based on location. So, 67 was kind of a coincidence. We got very familiar with that number back in the WoW run. So, because of how WoW was designed, the moment you hit 70, which was current level content at the time, you were now at the point where you could do the current level content. They would kick you out of time walking. I don't want to be kicked out of time walking. I want to stay in time walking. So in order to stay in time walking, I had to stay below 70. But the thing is, if I lock myself at 70, I just kicked out. And if I am high enough level to do the content, which is -2, then I have the exact same problem. The moment I go to a capital city for any reason, It's like, hey, you've left time walking, now continue doing the quests. So, by coincidence, the highest level I could reach on my entire team was 67. I do know where that is, Mr. Hey, Mook! Okay, so, I said I'd show this off, and show this off I shall. Make sure our sound's on, yep. Loktar! Jaina and I were in the area when we heard reports of a massive gnoll attack on Hammerfall. We could use your help in eliminating the gnolls while we aid the wounded and figure out our next move.
The Highlands have seen more than enough conflict. We have to end this before it can escalate.
I love how she's just freezing all of those gnolls. Just, you know, like you do. Yeah, this is the catch-up experience. I've already given pauses for it, but whatever. Quan Masters, doing Spice Wars, System 1. Speaking of which, I said I'd do the thank yous, and the thank yous I shall do. Yeah, Miss Proudmore there just kind of being like, yep, I'm just going to CC. How many is that? Well, hang on, let's count. Hang on. That is 21 gnolls. Alright. I mean, fair. That's just true. So, fun fact. You know how FF11 was basically funded with Dealer's Choice? In fact, most of those things have been Dealer's Choice. ESO will be Dealer's Choice. You know what wasn't Dealer's Choice at all? WoW Midnight, which you guys just funded on your own. And I'm only even bringing that up because every now and again I worry that I'm the only one who wants to stream WoW. And then every single time a WoW expansion or WoW stream comes up, you guys fund it without me having to do anything. So I guess I'm wrong, is what I'm trying to say. So shoutouts and thank yous to Adam Ciuta, Atal Hakar 86, Bragwin, Creamy Cream, D20 Archon, Dream Whisper, Irame, Frieza 2000, Game Geek 5698, Huthor, who I haven't seen in a while, hope he's okay, Catabo, Kira White Noise, Kenix Cow, Lita Fairy, Lene Ruth, Magister of Quel'Thalas, appropriately, Maverick 120, Mook GB, Off the Deeper End, Papaneeks, Fife 9, Retro Justice, Reichbar CO, Shepherd 55, Sputnik Lock, Synthelius, The Action Man, Wenlock, WoW TNT, person who put the game on the list, which is Esmiristar, and our majority stakeholder, which is Valerian Wraithwall. Thank you all of you very, very much. It did take 538 days for this to be funded, which is a decent chunk of time, but at least part of that's because we have had the announcement for all of these way in advance. Like, we knew about The Last Titan before War Within came out, if you'll remember. So all of these have been on the books for a while. In fact, I believe all of the other WoW streams are also already on the books. Assisted abilities has been turned on. You should use this button next. Oh, yeah, sure. Now, I should mention something. It kind of defaults to turning on your assisted highlight. And there's no way to turn that off until you leave this zone. I'm only pointing this out because a few recurring players find that irritating, and I am one of those recurring players. I don't mind too much, and it's not negative-worthy, but it is worth noting that the game really wants you to use the assisted highlight until you leave here, because this is basically a tutorial zone. Mr. Red just using the shadow dove over there. You'll also notice all of this stuff turbo shares, which means whether you're a Lawrence, Alliance, or Horde, in group or not, if I tag something, you also get to tag something. You also can share credit. Yeah, I love how low tier this is. Hammerfall, which is a spit of land basically inhabited by the survivors of Draenor from the other timeline, is being attacked by gnolls. And you know how every few expansions we take one of the lesser races and turn them into a more interesting race? Yeah, they've never really done that with the gnolls. They're still low-tier nobodies. Yep, the Allurance. It's all a bunch of Lawrences.
Well met.
Okay, so I get to pick something, right? Wrong! You notice it gives me 2 Warglaves. They're worse than mine, which is funny. This also gives me bags, which I think I don't need, but again, it gives you 4 bags, 24 slotters. So if you have anybody who doesn't have 4 24-slot bags, you could just do these quests. Just right now. I have actually done this on a few alts just to get these bags.
This is starting to look like a coordinated assault. Let's move.
I have no idea what they did to Metzin's voice there. And then here's how to fly tutorial, because, you know, dragon flying is still somewhat new to some people. And whoosh.
Raiding farms. The ogres and kobolds must be gathering supplies for a larger strike.
What do you need?
Well, I never thought I'd get so much help. Please, you've got to stop them. The kobolds and ogres appeared out of nowhere and kicked us out of the farm. I thought this was some alliance plot till you showed me. Maybe the alliance is here to help after all. You have to get my precious pumpkins back. I've spent the entire harvest cultivating them. And for some reason, I get this feeling the HVA is dead and gone and is staying dead and gone.
Go forth to victory.
No, they're soulbound. But you can do this on any character, Adam Ciuta.
The way forward will not be easy.
Honestly, and I mean this not as a joke, ignoring the gameplay code issues, in lore, the Alliance probably still exists because of political momentum. They're just kind of there, you know? They're probably just going to kind of keep being there because, Having said that, I bet you money that if in lore any one of the major races left, like the dwarves left or the humans left, that would completely splinter the Alliance like that. Farmer Brooke mentioned an ogre named Runk who is leading this group. These creatures won't leave the place as long as that ogre's attacking
We all
them.
have our ghosts.
Loktar.
The kobolds and ogres seem to be carrying out some sort of plan for their attack. I don't think they're particularly well written, so I need several of them to figure out what they're planning.
Together,
Okay.
we are strong.
I mean, I've said this for actual years at this point. The biggest reason I'm pro-Horde is because the Horde is actually well written. And that's the simplest and nicest way to answer that. Hi, Zara. Like, all of the best stories are Horde. All of them. And that's not a good thing. It is, in fact, a bad thing that I have given this game a -4. Because the story is so slanted towards the Horde. And the Alliance just kind of is there for the most part. Like, all of the really big, awesome, long-term story arcs are Horde-centric. And yeah, that's the other thing. Like, there are Alliance races that have good story arcs. Quite a few of them, actually. But the Alliance? 2 full expansions have been all about the Horde. Oh my god. He's stuck. Look at him, he's stuck. He's having issues. I got you! Oh, me think. You take plans. Don't tell anyone I try to get inside, okay? Okay. Bye. Yeah, that's the other thing. I continually amuse myself. Oh, hang on, there's a cat. There's a very fluffy cat. Let's go pet the cat really quick. Jesus Christ, really, Mister. What was I saying? Something about how the Alliance is terrible and awful. No, multiple expansions have been about the Horde. Not the Blood Elves, not the Orcs. The Horde, right? And, I mean, okay. The reason this frustrates me so much is because of Star Trek Voyager. Hear me out, I swear this is relevant. Star Trek Voyager has several characters who are awesome, interesting, and don't really get a lot of screen time, because the writers just weren't interested in writing for them. Harry Kim is the poster child of this. But there's actually several where they just didn't know what to do with them or didn't care enough to bother. And so those characters tend to be bad characters because they're left completely by the wayside. Alundra, Killzone. Yes, it was, Dakota. And AC Valhalla. Thank you very much, Ciela, as always. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So the Alliance is the same way. The writers just haven't been as interested in doing anything with the Alliance, so they haven't. And there's tons of potential there. One of my favorite zones in the entire game is still Westfall. Cataclysm Westfall, specifically. Which was all about, well, it started off, all about how the Alliance had completely failed on the home front. How they had basically destroyed their own infrastructure and economy, specifically to try and fight the war in Northrend. It's worth noting the human story arc also touches on that too, the human heritage line. But that is very much one of the exceptions and not the rules, and that's a damn shame. Which brings me to Primarch's question. What kind of stories with the Alliance itself I'd like to see explored? Politics! I know I'm the only person in the world who likes political intrigue stories, but I'm sorry, give me some frickin' politics, right? Yeah, let's delve into what's going on with the Alterac survivors, who are still there, by the way. They barely exist anymore. But there's still the frickin' Alterac, who have been dealing with, at this point, generational guilt over what Paranold, or whatever his name was, did. Yeah, the Red Dawn stuff was interesting. I actually agree with that completely. Yeah, maybe actually... So, that's the other thing I was going to say. The Alliance had been a military dictatorship since Warcraft 2. Now, there's some logic to that, right? Because in Warcraft 2, they needed to be a military dictatorship. But why are they still? Meanwhile, the Horde is run by an elective council now. And has representatives. Even the Forsaken have their own democracy thing going on. Now, this isn't me trying to say democracy is great, but, you know. But the point is that there's been allowed to be development of the Horde as a faction. Not just the races in it or the characters who live in Orgrimmar, but the actual Horde has developed. Whereas the Alliance is over there. The Alliance is still run by a human king. Why? Because the Alliance has been run by a human king since Warcraft 2. That's it. That's the reason. It's because of Lothar. And then later, Tyrannus. That's why.
Thromkar. Well met.
Yeah, exactly, Mook. They haven't done anything with it. That's the issue. It's quite a lot of pumpkins. I think our friend should take them back to Hammerfall. Yeah, how are you carrying all those, by the way?
Lothar.
Well, let's see what the plans say.
Thromkar.
Just as I thought. I can barely read any of this.
For Azeroth.
We cannot let the world fall to darkness.
Well, that admittedly makes me smile, Mr. Red. I'm telling you, this is a co-op game. Not an MMO. It's not. FF11 was an MMO. This is a co-op game. This should help disperse the creatures. Without a leader, they will flee when the Alliance and Horde reinforcements show up. The plans you found indicate the ogres are trying to get food and to supply a massive attack on Stromgarde Keep. Or they're using their crops to keep guarding an object named Storm. The translation was loose. Let's assume the problem is the former.
The plans you recovered suggest that Stromgarde is their next target. We must make haste.
The patch content of War Within is some of the best content in the entire game, Talia. That is not hyperbole. That is all I will say about it. Yeah, Undermine and the last zone. That's all I'm going to say. You can skip the Siren Isle. Just skip right over it. Like, the other thing that kind of irritates me is they've already got a really good visual coding for the Alliance. This is it right here. This is the Alliance, visually. Stone, like it's kind of, I think it's French, specifically architecture. Lots of gold, lots of blue. Look at that. It's a strong aesthetic. And as usual, the Blizzard art team is just kind of the Blizzard art team. Which, by the way, continuing to praise Blizzard for just 1 second, I absolutely love the fact that they have consistently, every time someone's like, why aren't you using AI? The response is, piss off. That has universally been their response. Oh. Anyways. I like that answer too. I keep being quietly afraid that someday that will not be their answer, but I have not had to face that reality yet. And look, there's the dwarven look. I also love the dwarven look. And yeah, it's pretty typical dwarves. I just kind of don't care because it kind of looks awesome. Got the, what do you call it, the Norse runes things going on. Big old bolted chunks of metal just slammed into each other there. Big, coarse, crude slabs. I love it. See, that's the good question, Lord Haramont. And that is, I think, one of the problems. If you'll forgive me for diverging for just a second, I think part of the problem with the identity of the Alliance is not the Alliance, it's the humans. I mean, I know I just praised, that dwarven thing over there, but, right? The Alliance look has always been the human look. Oh, and then there's these other guys. And the problem is, that only makes sense if you presume that nobody has done anything with them since Warcraft 1. Which is the exact issue I'm making issue with, right? The Horde used to be just, an orc wog, and we showed that in Warcraft 1. And then they did something with it in Warcraft 2, and they did something more with it in Warcraft 3, and so forth, and so on. Like, the Horde, to immediately push back against Lord Haramont, the Horde's overall visual aesthetic is very much the, the melting pot, right? You see Troll, you see Tauren, you see Orc, you see Blood Elf. The Horde races kind of mix and match. And a little bit of Forsaken in there as well, depending on the spot. That's admittedly a bit of an exception. Like, I don't know. I don't know if at this point we will ever get a properly developed alliance. And at this point, I'm kind of okay with that. I think that ship has sailed. Because nowadays, we don't have an alliance and a horde, really. You know what we have? The player characters. And, honestly, I'll take that. After years upon years upon years upon years of the HVA, I'm kind of glad that it's just done. And we could just move on with our lives. Yeah, focus on the individual faction stuff. That's fine. Spoilers, Midnight is going to have a ton of elven stuff. That's cool. I'm with that. But it's not Alliance, and it's not Horde. It's elves. And that feels like the direction. And yeah, also a ton of troll stuff, which is also elves. We'll talk about that later. So, yeah, no, I'm with that. Just get rid of the Horde and Alliance as identities at this point, because the ship has sailed. The ship has sailed. We're done. Focus on the individual things. Django, I believe, Lord Haramont.
Safe travels.
Anyways.
Well met.
This, I'm just going to do this side quest because it's fun. Lore Runner and Karanoth, which I'm probably pronouncing wrong. Glad to see you. The defenders in the fortress could use your help. One of the gnomes built a robot to try and defend the keep, but it kills haywire every time it turns on. She needs someone who can properly interrupt the attacks. Do you have a moment's help?
Be careful.
Sure. Are you here to help me fix this troublesome bot? Yeah, let's do it. Oh, there it goes. Quick, interrupt it a few times so I can reboot it. And this is our interrupt in tutorial. So it literally has abilities called uninterruptible attack and then interruptible attack. It also has this unique ability. This is actually very cool. If you try to interrupt it during its uninterruptible thing, it will cast, you don't see this happening, but it'll cast something on you, which then tells you, which resets your interrupt cooldown. Now, that's important because interrupts have about a 15 to 20 second cooldown depending on the class. So for a new player just learning the mechanic, this would be really arduous if you screw up your interrupt. But because it has that safety mechanism, you can just try again. Just a nice little quality of life feature there. Great work. Now I should have time to fix whatever bug causes. Maybe I should just call it a feature and call it a day. Here's what a shadow, that's to say a void priest. I guess that is a shadow priest has. Clearly have something. Also, by the way, I just want to say really quick, now that you've already decided, silence, duh. Y'all picked the right class, the right character to do Midnight with. For those of you not aware, Demon Hunters specifically actually get unique dialogue in Midnight. They're not the only ones, but, you know.
What would you ask the daughter of the sea? I will do what...
These catapults are relentless. They must be destroyed. Place these rune stones at their base. It'll unleash arcane magic to turn catapults to dust. Take a few out as well. I'll take out a few as well. Oh my god. And I'll make my way across the battlefield.
A single spark can set the world aflame.
Well met.
And she just starts... Did you just see her take those out with a single spell?
Locate their leader. Meet up with us once you've disrupted their forces.
So, speaking of, the other race that gets some unique dialogue in Midnight is Blood Elf, which we happen to be playing as. Oh my god. At one point in time, my friend was playing her Death Knight and just walking around Silvermoon. And there were several moments of just, like, a guard would stop and stare at them. And sometimes they'd say something, and sometimes they wouldn't. And it's just, oh, okay. Because, you know, Death Knight. We must do everything possible to stop this siege. Make your way to the battle, weaken the ogre forces. Strong guards should be able to rally if they gain the upper hand.
Let honor guide your path.
Alright, we got this. Bwah, bwah, bwah. Oh god, it's gonna kill me. Oh god, it's gonna kill me. I was gonna say, if trolls don't get a unique reaction, then someone has screwed up somewhere. And yeah, please stop spoiling. Come on, guys. We're not even to Midnight proper yet. I know it's hard to keep it in your pants. I understand. That's one way to destroy something. Break it down to its frickin' molecules. Yep, there we go. Just a pile of sand. Here, do me a favor, Mr. Red. Interact with this thing. I want to see the Shadow Priest destroy animation. Oh god, you just, like, consume it with the void. That's great. Midnight will get many positives for quest sharing. Not all of them. It'll only get 2. I guess 2 doesn't count as many. Midnight is back to being kind of weird with regards to quest sharing. In that the overwhelming majority of quests do in fact share. And then every now and again you just find one that doesn't and should. It's very strange. Hey, Spartan. I like how Linnea like, ugh, I'm already bored of WoW. Are we gonna play anything real after this? Ugh. You completely missed housing. It's done. It's gone. So, let me explain. For those of you who haven't heard me say this before, the reason WoW quest sharing is inconsistent is because it's set manually per quest. So in other words, if any given quest doesn't share, it's because someone who was designing that quest didn't set their flags properly. Or deliberately didn't set their flags properly. But it's probably more an accident than anything else. And since that has to be set on the objectives, not the quests themselves, you can see how that can cause issues.
The time for dreaming is over.
With the catapults gone, the soldiers of Stromgarde should be able to gain the upper hand.
I will never forget.
Siege is at an end. We have their leader, Cornwall. The head of the siege is still cowering in the Horde encampment. The former Horde encampment, excuse me. He managed to hide from Jaina's spell behind several of his cohorts. You can have the honor of confronting him. Jaina and I will stay here to ensure any remnants of the siege do not return.
Together, we are strong.
Yeah, something I kind of like is Jaina and Thrall have kind of stopped being characters in the story, which is a good thing. And instead, they've kind of become adventurers, for lack of a better way to put that. They're off kind of doing their own thing, cleaning up brush fires in the background. Which means, from a narrative perspective, they still poke their heads in periodically, right? Like during this quest chain. But for the most part, they're just, you know, off dealing with brush fires. I do agree with the crowd, though. They really should just knock over this fort at some point. Yeah, bandits have used this place, zealots have used this place, ogres have used this place. They were kind of there in War Within. Not really, though, if you think about it. If you remember, when we got to the Isles, the first thing they did was leave to go recruit people to help fight the Nerubians. I also kind of like how both Jaina and Thrall don't really have what you'd call a formal position in the Alliance of the Horde. Like, Jaina's the admiral of the Voltirans, but that's it. And Thrall's a shaman. I talked about this during the war run. Yeah, no, exactly. They're the Kiryu. They don't have a formal post or position. They're Thrall and Jaina. The reason they were able to recruit so many people during the aforementioned incident I just talked about in War Within was because they were Thrall and Jaina. Like, Thrall shows up and is like, hey, we need warriors. And people are like, done! Let's go!
Loktar.
The siege is over. Arathi Highlands will hopefully return to a somewhat peaceful state now.
Well met.
We're not always so lucky with a plan such as this ended so swiftly and without a surprise portal or two. That being said, more dangers lurk in Azeroth. I know you can be of help to some.
Let honor. I will return to Hammerfall to help with the repairs.
What is with this
And
voice?
I'll do the same for Stromgarde. We could all use a moment of respite.
And yeah, the novella, obvious. Which was also out in Arathi, go figure. Don't worry, I'm sure there's no racial tensions in Midnight, right? Speaking of Spartan, we haven't actually started Midnight proper yet. I'm kind of taking it easy because of, you know, rib.
Loktar. For Azeroth.
So,
Let honor.
where will we go next? You should go to Midnight. To Midnight. And I'm curious where this is going to drop me. Perfect. It literally drops me at Liadrin.
Azath and her devouring host lay siege to the Sunwell. The light has chosen you to defend it.
Okay.
We desperately need your aid. Seek me out, and the light will bear you to Quel'Danas.
I will literally never pronounce it that way. So I want to talk about this super quick. I really like what they do with this. This is actually kind of unprecedented. So if you look here, we've got Turellian, or rather an image of Turellian, an image of Lorthamar, and an image of Lady Liadrin, right? You're probably thinking, why is that relevant? Well,
I am the blade of the light.
The light guides my steps and illuminates my path. The light flows through me, and by its grace am I made one with all that is sacred. The light guides my steps and illuminates my path. The light flows through me, and by its grace am I made one with all that is sacred. The light guides...
Liadrin, it has begun. I need you with me on the wall.
Lorthamar, the void will envelop us soon. Only the light can save us now.
No. The time for prayer has passed.
The Sunwell will not fall. Not while I draw breath. Little elves. I can see you grow weary. How much longer can you hold out? Flee and save yourselves.
Liadrin, don't.
Light be with you. You see? She understands it's hopeless. Soon, you all will. The light guides my steps and illuminates my path. The light flows through me, and by its grace am I made one with all that is sacred. The light guides my steps and illuminates my path. The light flows through...
but the light in Warcraft is all about faith. When you're afraid and desperate, you don't have faith.
that I am unworthy.
That's why it's not working.
I don't know if I deserve your help, but I know my people do. Please give them strength. I admire your spirit, but that will not save you. Soon, I will break your world.
You can't even break one elf.
This darkness comes to devour everything. And when it is finished, there will be no more light. Without your aid, we will perish. I beg you, help us.
And canonically, that's us!
The Sunwell will not fall!
Not while we draw breath.
And she fades. I love that little detail. It's my favorite detail of the whole cinematic. The moment Xalatath sees any resistance from us, she bails. That's always how she's operated. This also makes more sense because that's us. The one group of people in the entire setting she has refused to directly contest. But that's what happens here. This quest, this is so freaking cool. This quest is her reaching out to us.
Even with reinforcements, we cannot hold back the devouring host for long. Make haste, champion.
Shorel Aran.
Yeah, Xalatath is not stupid. She has many flaws, but that's not one of them. She knows if she ever gets into a direct combat with us, she has lost. And so here we are, at the Sunwell, summoned here by Liadrin.
No, we need to focus on launching a counterattack.
So, there's been some debate over the years if there's one champion per class or one champion per spec. And I don't think we have a definitive answer on that, and we honestly probably never will. But it's one of the two. Either each class has a representative in lore, or each spec does. Take your pick. Oh, hi Talia. Spec makes more sense to me personally. Here, let me grab you. Well, yeah, because, like, just to name an immediate example, a holy priest and a shadow priest are pretty different from each other, right? I just want to show this off really quick, just give you a little bit idea of the sights of Keldanis being, you know, Shrek'd right now, I believe is the professional term. Despite the big, powerful, big last stand thing we just did, we're outgunned here. Xalatath has brought an entire army here. And, I mean, just look at it. Just look at him. So this is one of those, we're barely holding the line kind of deals. As you can see, Tyrellion's already here. And you'll notice several of the Grand Army of the Light members are already here as well. Most of these are named. Almost all of the named people are from Legion. Partos, Ramul, well, Ramul is obviously from BC, but whatever. Faria. We'll be interacting with a few of these as we go. And, oh, hey, look! It's General Bellamy. Oh, and Commander Vena Lightblood and Vindicator Servos. I don't want to spoil too much, but it's interesting that they show this trio of characters this early on. And that's all I'm going to say about that right now.
I am the blade of the light.
The light has called on you. Our hope rests in the champions of Azeroth and the vanguard of the light.
Anaria Shalom.
Your arrival has reignited hope. We have pushed Xalatath's forces away from the Sunwell, yet they still infest the Isle of Keldanis, and they appear to be massing for another attack as they prey on the Sindori. We must join up with the vanguard of the light.
Fight well.
We prayed for a miracle, and the vanguard of light answered the call. But the battle yet rages on.
Oh, you're right. It's actually War Chaplain Sen. My bad. Sorry, my bad. Well, she's there, and the Blood Elf is there. I love how there's Void Blood, where we've killed the Void creatures, and, you know, regular old blood, too. Gotta have regular old blood. Very important. It's nice to be playing WoW again. Sorry, no offense to the FF11 lovers out there. But good God, you know. I mean, just... Yeah, I was gonna say, how many of you noticed? This guy's alive. He's just completely shell-shocked. He's just shell-shocked. He's just sitting there, not coping. Right in front of one of his dead comrades, too. And, yep, there's also, down here, there's another woman who's just holding her chest. Just, you know, freaking out, like you do. Yeah, I don't know if Midnight will surpass War Within. It's too early to say. War Within had Undermine and Koresh, and those are juggernaut patches. But it's a shot. It's in punching range.
Good day.
By the way, a lot of these are specific named NPCs. I actually spent some time, I won't bore you with it, but like, across all of WoW, someone somewhere came up with a frickin' list of paladins and priests. And so, Marja Lenglow, Aponi Lightmane, Vindicator Xeon, Lord Irlin Trueblade, these are just random-ass NPCs from across the game. Yeah, it's pretty much all the light wielders across the game. And I kind of paused to emphasize that, truly emphasize just how insane that job was, whoever did that.
Our forces are scattered. The devouring host...
There she is. There's War Chaplain Sen. Right there. So War Chaplain Sen, Vena Lightblood, and Amias Bellamy. All right at the beginning here. And Turellian, of course, Bragwin's favorite character in this expansion.
Pleasantries can wait.
We must use this miraculous turn of event to turn the tide against the chaos. We must not falter.
I answer to the light.
Lord Zamar has formed a rally point at Sunstrata Rise, while the civilians are evacuated to Silvermoon, but the forces of the Vanguard are scattered throughout the battlefield. We need to fight as one. Together we can defeat Xalatath and save the Sunwell.
Remain vigilant.
Oh, we'll talk about Turellian's sword later. Trust me.
Another of the light's chosen champions.
Speaking of Warcraft 2, hey! We have stopped the devouring host's initial attack. This battle will not be won if we go on the defensive, not even to safeguard the innocence of Keldanes. Focus on culling the Void Front. Without their invading force, the devouring host cannot maintain a foothold. We will rally at the Rise when ready.
Do not let this evil shake your resolve.
One moment. I have a personal matter. I would like you to find my son Erator. He's a member of the Silver Hand, an accomplished paladin. I know he must have been called. His faith is strong. The Light would want him here, fighting against Xalatath.
Be the light, the dawn. Champion, find Erator. I will rally the Vanguard and prepare an assault.
Some must remain to guard the Sunwell. If it falls, all is lost.
So, Erator is one of those truly rare exceptions, I think, when they took a character who was basically a non-character, turned him into a main character, and kind of crushed it. Amusingly, if you remember, War Within did the exact same thing with, oh god, what's his name? The dwarf. I can't think of his friggin' name. Oh my god. Dagran. Thank you, Dagran Thaurazin. Like, just taking someone who was literally just a baby model back in WoW Vanilla and being like, hey, be a main character. Okay, I guess. Oh, that reminds me, it has been suggested that due to the somewhat unique nature of this year's streams, we're going to go ahead and split the MMOs off into their own voting block. So we're going to have the LGAs, then we're going to have the MMO GAs this year. What I'm trying to say is if you want to nominate anything, well, then I should probably set up a spreadsheet for you to do that. That would make sense. Can someone type !LGA really quick, please? Just for me. You. So that's the LGAs. I'm going to sort this out in a second. Hang on, Erator. 1 second. For right now, I'm just going to make a nice, quick, and clean copy of this. We'll call this the MMOGA nominations. Hey, offshore Twitch account. Let me say something else, by the way, because I've heard from a lot of people if they should play... What? WoW. Let me be very clear about this. It has never been smoother and better to start WoW than right now. The new player experience is way smoothed over. It does a lot of little precise things correct. The tutorial is a little bit hand-holdy, but it is a good tutorial. It puts you immediately into Dragonflight. You don't have to stay in Dragonflight. Like, this is good. It's actually really solid. Highly recommend. If you are considering this is the time. Should you play Classic or Retail first? I am the wrong person to ask that. No, you're right, Lord Harriman. Lord Harriman just says, a sentence that has continued to be true every year, right? It's always been continuing to get better. Yes. Bizarrely enough, it keeps getting better. Like, they keep adding more quality of life features, more smoothing out. More all kinds of stuff. Who is this? Is this someone I know? Oh, it's Spartan. It's just like, who is this? Hang on, let me go ahead and grab you. Now give me 1 second here to just finish typing this. Give me 1 second, sorry. Yeah, it's finally worked as Moonstruck. Yeah, I kind of agree with Mook. If you want to go try out Classic, do it. I would never start with Classic. Let me also say really quick, let me be very clear about this. Classic and Retail are different games. Completely different games. Comparing the two is an exercise in futility. I am hugely grateful that
Let's find
the WoW Classic exists.
The High Exarch hates to be disappointed.
Shoot, what did he say? I didn't get a chance to talk to him. Guys! Guys! I'm gonna kick you from the group if you keep doing that, Spartan. I just want you to know that. This is your only warning. I'm trying to set up a vote thing. You talked to NPCs, which means I can't talk to them. Yeah, I'm gonna abandon the quest. Because I've actually been through this before. Okay, go ahead and set up a new command. Hang on. Do me a favor, someone type !MMO. Really quick, please. There we go. Now, the list isn't cleaned up yet. Oh, it's also not shared properly. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Hang on. Okay, now it should be shared properly. And now you should be able to see it. I'll clean it up later, I swear. I meant to clean this up already. I'm just stupid. Anyways, the point being, we're going to have our own separate vote nomination block for MMOs versus the LGA, so just kind of keep that in mind, okay? That's it. That's all I wanted to say. Okay, so I'm going to abandon the quest really quick here, and then go pick it back up again. And yeah, so Sawal, which stands for Stay a While and Listen. It's an invention they invented, well, technically it's been on for a while, but they really started doing stuff with it in War Within. There's a little indicator over everyone's head, and it says, hey, there's a Sawal here. It's actually really good interface design, because not only does it indicate if there's a Sawal you can do, but also it indicates if you've already seen one. However, if you've already seen one, you can reselect it in most cases. So let me go get Erator? Oh god. I already have Erator. Oh, this is problematic.
Ready to fight the fight?
Yeah, Sawals have been around for a minute. It's a great feature.
Zalatath. If only I had found a way to destroy that accursed blade.
It is good to see you. The light burns brighter amongst all this darkness and void, doesn't it? I always feel the pain of it on my undead skin. Negative to story. We'll talk about that later. But the Devouring Host is more susceptible to its wrath than I am.
Let your inner fires burn bright, my brethren. We are called to assault the void.
Yeah, I forget when I started calling it the walls. Is it? Oh, you're right. You are right. Hang on. Let's go ahead and abandon this one. Switch up here. Go back to Terrellian.
The devouring host will overwhelm us. There is no darkness that will not flee before the light. Champion, find Eretor. I will rally the vanguard and prepare an assault.
Some must remain to guard the Sunwell. If it falls, all is lost.
There we go. Yeah.
Champion, over here.
So, what happened to you? Yeah, he's on fire, literally. If you didn't catch that.
There you are. You can feel it, can't you, Eretor? Son of Terrellian. Something is amiss. One so confident in the light you wield. Have your eyes finally been opened? You fight with such conviction, but your light will betray you. In your darkest moment, when you need it most, your light will turn to wrath! And all you'll be left with is ashes.
My favorite part about that one was the tiny flash forward of a light-forged Eretor. Completely confident.
Of Valeria. Can you feel it?
I love the earlier cinematic, but I kind of like that one better.
Still not sure what happened in that moment. But I'll have to worry about it later. We have lives to save.
Like... yeah, that's just... What is this, Minister? Yeah, no time to think about what the horrible, horrible stuff we just saw. It's fine, it's fine. Hi, Sean. I did, Lord Harrimont, but as you point out, I've been a little bit busy, and I do apologize for that. The scene of the Sunwell exploding. So that happened in Warcraft 3, so we don't have like what you'd call a traditional cutscene of that. What we do have is Disgaea 1, RNC 3 up your arsenal, and Naruto, etc. My favorite detail about that, really, is what I just mentioned. There's a brief flash forward of Eretar looking completely confident and completely self-assured and glowing with the light. Again, light forged. Which makes sense. My second favorite detail is she starts off calling him son of Turellian. And then she ends up calling him son of Valeria.
Let's do some good.
I was overcome, not by the void, but by the light itself. I couldn't see, and unleashed a power that, like fire. When I came to, they were all destroyed. Apologies. The feeling has passed. We need to do what we can in the moment.
Find the rest of the Vanguard. The High Exarch hates to be disappointed.
You know. And yeah, obviously, he's got a little bit of a fire accoutrement now going on because of the flames there. No, I'm pretty sure they're just tattoos. They were there before that cutscene. I missed someone. Let's go grab it. Let's go this way. Oh, there's a rare.
The light will protect you.
I don't know, I'm getting kind of beat up here.
The light will shield the land of my ancestors.
Hi, Farron. By the sacred flame, we were almost overwhelmed by the devouring host. Yeah, by the way, notice that Anduin is here healing the wounded because he's Anduin. By the sacred flame, we were almost overwhelmed by the devouring host. I was able to hold back the tide of darkness so Anduin could heal the injured. I'm glad to see others were called in defense of this place. What can I do to help?
A beacon in the dark.
Go join the Vanguard, Farron. I'll escort everyone to the Sunwell.
And, by the way, can I just say that, not that I'm into shipping, but Farron and Anduin are a great couple. She's a tank, he's a healer. Come on. I mean, come on. So I did see your sub, Spartan, but what you probably didn't see is you didn't put it towards anything. You know what that means. Anduin's tricky. He is fully a priest, but he knows how to wield a sword and he knows how to wield armor. Which is literally what a paladin is. In terms of mentality, he is much more of a priest than a paladin, whatever that's worth. Alright, let's take out the rare. Let's do this. Oh god, he's killing me.
Will not fall today.
He's killing me. Ah! Yeah, monks versus shamans. Both of them are functionally using the same power set from the same source. But there's a lot of difference in mentality and execution between a shaman and a monk. Excuse me. You can say the same about several things, honestly. I mean, when there's only 8 power sources in the setting, you gotta spread it around a little bit. Anyways, this is an awesome intro. It's also very well designed. There's lots of NPCs and items around, like this thing, which I just picked up here, which help a new player. Let me tell you a bit of a story that I've told 1,000 times before, so forgive me for the repetition. Boop. Back in the day, this expansion came up called Cataclysm. Now, I've actually said several times that Cataclysm was good, because it was the first time WoW actually prioritized gameplay instead of being an MMO. It's also why some people always say that Cataclysm sucked, but that's neither here nor there. The relevant point in my bringing this up, though, is that one of the most common things that would happen Yeah, I'm kidding, as Mr. One of the most common things that would happen, and I was not the only one who experienced this phenomenon, is you'd jump into Cataclysm, and you'd be on a character who, shall we say, wasn't super high gear. And you...
Spawn of the Void! Prepare to meet your end!
Hi, Lithraxian. And what would happen is you'd get Shrek'd. If you weren't a character who was not particularly well geared, Cataclysm would kick your ass. Because it was tuned and designed for people who had been max level for a while. So it was alt unfriendly, and it was new player unfriendly. Almost ever since, not...
High Exarch calls us to glory or death.
What did he say? Out of curiosity? Because I didn't get to talk to him. I'm going to leave group if y'all keep this up. I'm just going to be very honest about that. Legion didn't have that issue in my experience. And the Warlords did. Just redo the quest for the second time. Oh god, my button's wrong. My button's wrong. Yeah. There we go. I'm dead. It's fine. It's fine. I deserve this death. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Legion was fine. Now I'm losing my train of thought because I kind of got interrupted there. By somebody. Words. So, several expansions have gone out of the way to try and fix that early character thing. Try and make it so that intro experience is something that's playable and doable, even if you're a brand new character, even if you're an all to us no gear, etc. That's awesome. And this particular intro does a very good job of this. They give you...
I will not leave my people undefended.
People talking. They give you NPCs who help. They give you a partner ally in the form of Eretor. And they give you items that you can interact with to help you push through things. So even if you get here being extremely low geared, which it's worth noting, I have personally experienced that, you can still get through this opening sequence without too many issues. Okay.
The eternal sun still guides us.
Got people. Excellent work. Their numbers dwindle as ours grow. The light has truly brought hope to this battlefield, and no one else. Demon Hunter. We found him. Thank the light. We can't afford distractions. I need Eretor here with the assembled forces, fully focused on the assault against Zalatath. Meanwhile, Lord Runner, I see the light had not called not just its followers, but the champions of Azeroth. I had thought myself surrounded and outnumbered, but with you here, we may press the attack. Is what he said earlier. Thank you, Mr. Red. So someone asked what Lithraxian is. The simplest way to answer that is that Lithraxian is a light-forged Nathrezim. What that means is something we're still kind of untangling. But that's the summary.
Do not let this evil shake your resolve. Vanguard of the light! We make our stand at the gate. For Azeroth! For the light!
Eretor, wait! I must escort these civilians to the docks and get them to safety. There are still many unaccounted for. We cannot abandon them to the void.
Of course, Lorthamar. We'll do everything in our power to safeguard them. Surely the High Exarch can spare us for a moment to save some lives.
So, I already love how this is setting this up. Aurelian is like, alright, let's go. And he wants to go and break the enemy forces and break the siege. And he's not wrong. That's part of what makes this work. If Turlian was an idiot, this would actually be easier. If Turlian was... Let me use a specific example. if Turellian was Garithos, that would be a different and simpler and frankly worse character. Instead, Turellian has a degree of logic to his reasoning. He is a war veteran who is acting like a general who is used to fighting the Legion. I don't have a simpler way to put that. So he is fighting the Void like he fought the Legion. The problem is, that's only good under certain circumstances, and it's going to lead to a lot of Pyrrhic victories. So Lorthamar, you know, the civilian leader of a people, is immediately focused on getting his people to safety and evacuating the civilians. So he's like, hold up. You'll notice even the quests were different. Turellian gave us a quest to go beat up a bunch of people and rescue his son. Lorthamar gave us a quest to try and rescue the civilians. I don't have much water left, so I don't know if there's any in there. Yeah, no, exactly, Trihexia. If you use Legion tactics long term, you're going to hurt yourself as much as the enemy, because you have to take such horrific losses to do anything to the Legion, right? We're not fighting the Legion. Legion's gone. They're gone. They're over. Kaput. Yeah, Garithos would be like, oh, well, a bunch of elves about to die. Sweet! I'm out! Anyways.
We have made many sacrifices.
This is the scene we just saw. So you can just replay the cutscene. That's actually funny.
Yeah.
Turellian is thinking like a battlefield captain and not a leader. My people have suffered much in the past few wars. How many must die in the name of his victory? Please, rescue any citizens you can and help guide them to safety to the boats of the Silver Landing. Every life saved is a victory for the Blood Elves. And this is another subtle thing. You might look over at Silvermoon there in the distance and think, wow, they're so advanced. And you have to remember that within the last 30 years, these people became that close to extinct. Twice. So it's a little undercurrent that they tend to add to this, is that the Blood Elves, while they are doing better, are still not doing well.
The beauty of Eversong endures. The light of the sunworld be with you.
Yeah, that city was in ruins a decade ago. It's kind of a plot point, or I guess a world-building point. Anyways, we must rescue the civilians and get them to the ships, yet the path to the docks is barred by a vile, hungering creature. If we're to save my people, we need to clear an evacuation path. We cannot leave them to fend for themselves.
Come on, champion. Let's clear a path for the survivors.
Hell yeah. And notice the difference in focus. We were just talking about how a paladin and a priest are basically the same, but the main difference is one of mentality, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the same idea. Turellian wants to go out and kill the enemy to win. Eritar wants to go out and kill the enemy to clear a path for the survivors. We're kind of doing the same thing, but why we're doing it does matter. So, let's go rescue a few people. Get up.
The holy light will ease your pain.
Yeah, I noticed, by the way, we all have different Eritors, which is interesting. Oh.
Baladash Malanor.
I got you. It's okay. It's okay. Get out here. Get out of here. Here to miss the boats. Thank you, Lord Runner. You are welcome. Get the hell out of Dodge. It's worth noting Keldanis was not a military outpost. That's kind of important to remember. There was some military here, but this was basically the equivalent of a holy temple for the elves, right?
What do we need to do?
Sorry, misclick. Also, just if you're curious, all these people I'm healing with the potion they gave me. If you are a healer or capable of healing, you can just do that.
The dark times will pass.
You can make it from here. Run! Run, you fools! Oh, they did have military forces here. It's just... I mean, that's the old thing, right? Have you ever played a large-scale strategy game, like a 4X or a grand strategy or something like that? You probably have a pretty strong military. You probably have a defensive garrison everywhere. But if the enemy's main army attacks random city number 557, your garrison is not going to be able to hold off the army. And that's what happened here. Now, to continue with military strategy for a second, the point of that garrison is not to win. The point of that garrison is to hold the line until your actual defenses show up. And hey, here we are. Hi, yes, that's us. We're the actual defenses. I'm sorry to keep gushing about that, but I really love the fact that the Sunwell summoned us. I guess I don't have the talent yet. And before you ask, there's no functional difference whether you're a Horde or Alliance for this. It's just Lady Liadrin shows up and is like, please, the Sunwell summons you, and then we're here. We have helped out with the Sunwell. I think that's a way we can phrase that. I've heard a few people say they wish Eretor had been our Delve person instead of Nerissa. Well, that would be awesome. It wouldn't make a lot of sense, because Eretor's kind of busy this expansion, you know? Yeah, Eretor's a bro, but he's busy.
Enemies will fall.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, God, yeah, the music in Midnight is so good. Although, yeah, if I look up, which I haven't yet, that's above us. It's visible from Stranglethorn. Yes, really. I've tested it.
Eretor, champion! The evacuating ships are under attack!
No, it's legitimately terrifying. Like, looking up like this doesn't really get across how absolutely ginormous this storm is that's above us. It's pretty much the size of this entire zone. Like, right here. So, yeah, you can see it from down here in the southern areas of the Eastern Kingdom. And yes, the Draenei Heritage Quest is hugely recommended. Absolutely.
With perseverance.
I honestly, all of them are. The worst Heritage Quest was Taran, and even that's good. Oh, people are dumb, Spartan. Ignore them.
I greet you on behalf of
Thank you. The rescue missions are rarely as straightforward as they seem. There's always one more threat that appears that you didn't account for. The citizens have boarded the ships. They will soon reach the safety of Silvermount.
I proudly serve.
Oh, they do have the army. Zalatath's host have opened portals above the strait. Void creatures spill out and descend on the refugee ships. We have to safeguard the civilians. These Dragonhawks have been empowered by the light. They should give you enough power to defeat the Void beasts and rescue the fleeing civilians.
If we don't protect those ships, we'll have sent the people aboard them to die.
Oh yeah, by the way, real quick. It's my boy! It's Soul! And anybody remember Soul? Anybody? He was a party member for the priest back in Legion.
Clear the skies and rescue any survivors you can find.
Oh yeah, by the way, we're actually in control here. It's not on a rails thing, so we can just fly around and shoot. Shoot them! Shoot them! Yeah, he's a light walker, which is exactly what it sounds like. Kind of terrifying, honestly. I got you.
sunk a ship. Throw the survivor a rope.
Working on it. Working on it. Yeah, a bit of an advertisement here for the special edition mount you can get. It does look extremely cool, in the interest of honesty. I didn't buy it, but... Can I also say one other thing as just a private point? So, Dragonflight was good, but as weird as this is going to sound, Dragonflight being good wasn't unexpected.
You got them all! Thank the light!
Like, I know that sounds strange, but WoW has always been like, in terms of its quality, right? Going all the way back to vanilla, arguably.
The civilians escaped the devouring host.
Turallion forgets that victory means nothing if it costs us everything in return.
Thank you, Lorthamar. Oh, hey, Moira's here, too. Hey, Moira. She's canonically a shadow priest. She's just doing what she can to help. We also have Mother Gold Skimmer. She's from the Goblin Starting Zone. If you don't remember her. I'll hear for free out of the goodness of my heart. It's like an investment in the future. One day they'll owe me. Yeah, she was also an Undermine. I mean, all of the goblins were an Undermine. That's cheating. Anyways, WoW has always been up and down in quality. That's been normal since vanilla, right? Even in individual patches, that's been true. Pandaria was great until the patches, which were good and then bad and then worse, in that order, right? And that led to Warlords, which was amazing, and then had terrible patches. You get it. It's always been bouncing around in quality. The reason I'm bringing this up is Dragonflight being good wasn't surprising. Dragonflight, after Shadowlands, was honestly expected. But then we got Dragonflight patches, which were really good. And I was just like, okay, that's a little surprising. And if you remember, I was streaming back in the day before War Within came out, and I said quite openly that War Within I was scared about because War Within had to stick the landing. And if it didn't, well, then we were just back to our old patterns. War Within is the best expansion WoW has ever had. Okay, but if you remember, during War Within, I was talking about how WoW Midnight was not only going to once again... Yeah, no kidding, Clays. Midnight once again had to stick the landing, but also was the very, very, very first expansion that had absolutely no baggage of the previous era of WoW developers and WoW management. It was fully and truly the modern WoW team and no one else. And so there was this fear, which I shared, that some of the reasons that the old stuff was good was because it was written by the people who knew what they were doing, who had the experience and all that, and not by the new modern WoW team. So Midnight, once again, needed to stick the landing. Which it did. I'm almost holding my breath even more at this point, if that makes any sense. It's like, it keeps pulling the hat trick. Midnight continues to be crushing it. And I am very much looking forward to the next patch, which is in just about a month now. And then there'll be the Last Titan, which once again, who knows?
We have made many sacrifices.
Let's do some good.
The High Exarch commanded us to assemble at the Vanguard and attack the host. I do not regret my delay of that order, but he will take a notice of my absence. We should make haste and assemble with the others.
We should help. Mount up, champion. We must get to the gate before the Vanguard.
Oh, right, yeah, let's mount up. Whee. Oh my god, it's Gidwin. It's Gidwin from Eastern Plaguelands. And Terranar from Eastern Plaguelands. God, there are so many named characters here. Speaking of an array of named characters, look at this assemblage.
Could have handled the evacuation, Erator. You're needed with the Vanguard. The Vanguard is...
Champion, I'm glad to hear of the Sindori surviving. Even though this is contrary to my orders, you are not under my command. You acquitted yourself well. Erator did not.
Vanguard of the Light, form a line. Hold this gate.
Oh god. Hang on, let me give some positives really quick here. Just a bunch of positives. Okay. Oh yeah, so this is my little, did you know? So there's this button that's been around, I'm pretty sure since War Within. It's called Recuperate. If you go into your spell bar and you go to your General tab, it's this green leaf-looking thing. This is a great feature. They just kind of slid this under the rug, right? See you around, Mr. Red. It heals you to 50% health. It heals 50% of your max health over 10 seconds. You're probably thinking, what's so big about that? That is a very quick, infinitely reusable, every character has it from the beginning, food button. It's a, oh, I need to heal. Yeah, this needs to have skins. I really hope they expand this with skins, because that would be really cool. Oh, and by the way, it has functionally no cooldown. I can just spam it. I can just spam it. And yeah, it's stolen straight out of Tor, which I am totally with, as I've said many times. More MMOs need to be unabashed in their cross-pollination of designs and concepts. If you remember, I was quite positive about that in Tor, too, for the exact same reason. Oh yeah, speaking of... Hang on, is this it? No. 1 second. Is this it? I'll try that if that's not it. Yeah, meanwhile, FF14 is giving us class skins, so I'm just saying, there's some ideas there. There's some thoughts that can be had. I think those are the only two I wanted. I've also got... I should pull up this. Oh, I should pull that out, too. Oh. There it is. There it is. Where's... Oh, there's... Spartan. It's very golden. Which fits. Unfortunately, the gold isn't perfectly matched, but that is still a very nice strip. I like it. Yeah, we can't use toys here because we're in an intro zone. Hi, Nero's. Thank you for the sub. As always. And if you want to put that towards up to 3 things, you know what to put them towards. Speaking of... Dead. Dead something. What's the Dead game? God damn it, Spartan. I remember what it is. I remember the game. Dead Space. There it is. Dead Space. Metroid Prime Hunters. And Evercold. I even remembered. I just didn't write it down. Okay. Eritor, what's up?
What do we need to do? Ready to fight?
The High Exarch has formed an impressive defensive line. It'll hold the Devouring Host's current numbers, but I can see the Void Pylons behind the lines. Those will call forth more Devouring Hosts and overwhelm the Vanguard of Light. Their power is too dangerous for us to destroy directly, but if we can reactivate the Sentinels that fell in the assault, they could destroy the Pylon for us.
I've bested every evil I've faced. What do we need to do?
The Devouring Host are comprised of horrors from depths of the void, but they're still an army with soldiers and leaders. Amongst the sea of Voidwalkers, I noticed there are singular creatures. Whether commanders or mascots, removing them will help break their lines.
We should help.
Alundra, Ace Combat 8, Horizon Forbidden West. Thank you again, Mirazas. Vindicator Boros, the worst tank in Legion. So I suppose I should explain that. So Vindicator Boros was one of those companion...
Forgive my father's tone. We don't always see eye to eye on things, to say the least.
Right, that reminds me. Reset. Oh no, I guess we're good. Okay, whatever. So Boros is an extremely good tank as far as NPC tanks go.
Terralion is a vaunted battlefield commander, though I think he sometimes forgets how to be anything else.
Do you need me to buy you?
Creature's might. It was in such pain. When I was overcome by wrath, I lashed out in my pain. Is it the same for the void as it is for the light?
Yeah, most void creatures do not enjoy life, by the way. Hunger. Endless hunger. Brigwin, do I need to buy you the yak so you have a transmog everywhere? I'll do it. I'm crazy. It's also a pittance to do that right now.
The Vanguard has faith in the light, and so do I. But I've also felt it fill me with wrath. And I'm not sure what to think when it does.
Listen, the light can do no wrong, Eretor.
My mother Ilaria would know better than anyone how to fight the void. But I haven't seen her for weeks. I just hope. Let's focus on activating the Sentinels.
So, the Legion and Fel are actually shockingly similar to the Void in terms of application. If you remember, one of the more brilliant things that Sargeras did was he created an army who was always constantly hungry for life energy, guaranteeing that when that army no longer had a point, when it ran out of life to eat, it would then consume itself. And that was always his goal. Like, remember, the Legion was always intended to be a discarded tool, since Sargeras hates demons as much as he hates anything else. Yeah, meanwhile, Velen's just chilling here, doing his thing. Velen defending 2 Blood Elf Scholars. That is a sight, isn't it? Point being, the Void creatures are a little bit different in that that was not an engineered situation with the Void. And, unlike Fel, if you just happen to exist in the Void, it's much more, for lack of a better word, comfortable. Comfortable. A Void creature who just chills in the Void tends to be in a lot better place. By the way, this is just a bonus objective we're doing. I don't even care. Like, we're gonna help my bro out, okay? Look, double jump is just the correct way to play this game. I don't know what you want from me. So, we will not be looking at classes this entire stream. Classes are always part of patch content for obvious reasons. However, I will bring up Apex Talents, which is the new thing for Midnight.
Look around you. Look above you. The void opens your eyes to all possible futures. And in every single one of them, your world is mine to claim.
Yeah, we'll see. I do wonder what she's after. Would you believe we still don't really know, as of this very moment? They've been spoon-feeding us info about her bit by bit. No. This is not Ashara. That is Xalatath. She was a mortal at one point in time, and gave herself into the void.
Vast and varied. You are not prepared for what awaits you.
Yeah, I bet you would win. I mean, Demon Hunter is the obvious one, Spartan, but I'm also very glad with what they've been doing with Death Knight right now. And Paladin is in a very good place, too.
You little people and your struggles. Delicious. You still believe your heroics can defeat my devouring host? My forces are as boundless as my power. My fun is just beginning.
Oh, hey, it's a raid boss. I've only played Healer Druid. It is still Healer Druid. Nothing's really different about it. I was gonna say, lady, we beat the Legion. You should know. You were there for that. I've actually had a theory for a while now that the biggest initial reason why she is so scared of us is because she was there to watch us defeat the Legion. Something that everyone agreed was impossible. Not difficult. Impossible. And so I've always liked the idea that she's just like, okay, what do I do about that? You know? How do I deal with that? And so, as Lunarith pointed out, a lot of her plans have been centered around the idea that she allows us to win, or engineers it so that our victory helps her.
Eretor, you broke formation.
Turallion, buddy.
The light chose for you to be here.
With the Void Pylons destroyed, the Devouring Host is weakened. We may have a chance of winning this. Going behind our lines was reckless. Was that Eretor's idea? He's been so headstrong lately. Sorry. I shouldn't air this family business. I will admit your actions have aided the Vanguard in the battle.
The Void has come for Azeroth.
I have a mission for you. There's a contingent of Shadowguard to the northeast. They appear to be looting the buildings, but that could change in a moment. The Vanguard cannot afford to be flanked as we advance. Take out their leader and decimate their host.
The Void has no place in Azeroth.
The armorers here store legendary weapons and artifacts, blessed with the power of the light due to their proximity to light with the Sunwell. While we were pinned down by the host, the Ethereals are looting these. Secure these artifacts. They're our best weapons against the Void. Use them to cut down the invaders, if you have the need.
We cannot allow these Ethereals to pillage our sacred artifacts.
On that we agree. Eretor, hold the line. Champion, seize those weapons.
Yeah, Eretor, do as you're told. God. One of the things I like, I know this sounds strange, about Turallion and Eretor's relationship is he has absolutely no idea how to be a dad. Which admittedly makes sense. He's been a dad for, like, what is it, like 2 years? Total. He left when Eretor was a child. Yeah, he missed pretty much all of Eretor's life and developing heirs. So he's got that, like, the emotional baggage, for lack of a better way to put it. Just almost a toxic amount of just, I want to take care of you because you're my son and I care about you. And I have absolutely no idea how to express this because I've been spending most of my life as a wrath-infused light zealot fighting the most terrifying enemy this setting has ever known. Illyria, by her very nature, tends to be a little bit more inclined, there it is, to being flexible is the word I would use. Yeah, by the way, fun little factoid for anybody who hasn't played BC. All of these light-infused artifacts we're getting are the weapons from the Kael'thas encounter back in BC. I missed one. How long was Eretor fighting the Legion? 30 years! No, no. I know what you're going to say, and you're wrong. It's been 30 years. That's the thing that irritates me the most about that. The 30 years is plenty long to accomplish what they were trying to accomplish. Like, turning that into 1,000 years is just stupid. I forget the exact number. We have it. It's like 32 or 33 or something like that. But we know the exact amount of time it's been since between Warcraft 2 and Legion. And it's about 30 years. 30 years is a long goddamn time to be off in interdimensional space fighting the Legion. That is a huge chunk of time. That's basically an entire lifetime spent in that hellish condition. That's plenty. I want you to imagine having spent 30 years of your life fighting the Legion. Really, picture that. So, I forgot to look at the plaque earlier. The Warp Slicer, created with the aid of Illidan and the Naga to help Prince Kael'thas and the Sindori access Outland. This enchanted blade effortlessly slices the distance between worlds, creating a portal in between. This task was accomplished not only by the sharpness of the blade, but its speed. When later used against foes, it seemed to strike them down before they even saw it drawn. Yet its deadly accuracy and astonishing power was overshadowed by its service to the traitor prince, Kael'thas. It has since been reclaimed. I mean, we had actually talked about that in the previous stream, I'm pretty sure, Lord Aaron. There's no good ending for the Demon Hunters. Not unless we figure out a way to remove the demon that is inside our soul. Now, this is Warcraft. It is entirely possible that that is something that we could actually do. That would leave us powerless and a civilian, but at least we could retire at that point, right? Missed one over here. Well, had to carry over is certainly an interesting word choice, Lareth, but you are correct, it is something they chose to carry over. I've already given it negatives, so I will not double down on those negatives here. Those negatives went over in Legion. These are the Infinity Blades. A group known as the Phoenix Blades may be derided today as mere assassins, but were once held in high regard for having saved many lives by eliminating key enemy commanders before battle. As both reward and mark of station, their leader was gifted the Infinity Blades. These weapons deftly pierced the most magical defenses and protected the barrier from arcane attacks. In years later, they returned on their king, and the group was disbanded. The Infinity Blades were thought lost until they resurfaced during the siege of Tempest Keep. Recovered from the traitor prince, the blades are now preserved in the light of the Sunwell. Interestingly enough, I agree with that, Breakfast Sampler. God, bleh, 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 bleh. I need to get water. I'm drying up. My God. Forgive me. I think that Demon Hunters and Death... Excuse me, let me be more clear. Player character, Demon Hunters, and Death Knights kind of share a similar perspective. Well, this sucks. Might as well use it. Again, service is a good word. Like, let's be of service with these cursed powers we have. Scourgebane, forged so that Prince Sunstrider would not taint his father's sword with his people's hate. Arcane magic gathered the rage of the Sindori alongside the edge, ripping apart any undead foes with deadly precision. While Felamalorn was eventually restored to righteousness, Scourgebane was used by the forces of Kael'thas as he served the Burning Legion, against his own people. It's been placed here in hopes that one day it will serve the Sindori as proudly as its more famous counterpart. What, Talia? I missed one up there. Is it further up or am I... Yeah, I'm just blind. By the way, once again, each of these weapons is really strong. Devastation. Warriors of the Sindori are normally known for the spear, bow, and sword, but Thaladred the Darkener preferred an axe above all. First used during the Troll Wars, Devastation struck its enemies with such brutality that their swift regeneration magic and calls to the Loa would fail them. Although its origins lay in the defense of Quel'Thalas, Thaladred wielded the weapon in service of the traitor prince. In doing so, he betrayed his people and forever stained the weapon's legacy. Until the day when one is found with the unique temperament to wield it, Devastation bathes in the light of the Sunwell in hopes of removing the darkness shadow. Yeah, every single one of these plaques is like, this weapon is badass and Kael'thas sucks. It makes a lot of sense that they would all hate Kael'thas because, I mean, and I don't have a nice way to say this, he's basically the Blood Elf's Hitler. Like, there's a reason he's called the Traitor Prince, you know? Like, he betrayed his own people to the Legion, and then he turned on his own people and tried to convert them into Legion pawns. Yeah, that's pretty bad. The Staff of Disintegration. Some foes are only stopped when they are erased from existence. Such as Metimua, the Amani who fought during the Troll Wars. He could regenerate so quickly that no blade, arrow, or spell could fell him. The Staff of Disintegration was crafted to overcharge arcane power, and used to eliminate every trace of him and his home. So horrific was the carnage that it and its creator were locked away, until it was taken by the Grand Astromancer Capernian in the Tempest Keep. The staff now rests in the light of the Sunwell in hopes of cleansing it of its tragic past. Last one, Cosmic Confuser. While many of Quel'Thalas turned to the sun for guidance, some astromancers and nethermancers saw the power between the stars and space, and thus the Cosmic Confuser was a result of earliest attempts to explore the unfathomable fields of arcane study. Harnessing the untapped power of the stars' healing drawn from such darkness is dangerous to evoke, and leaving it reserved for use in only most desperate of times. Okay, that's all of them. And they made a staff to kill one troll. Nostalgia as a theme. Now that's interesting. I kind of get what you mean by that. Especially considering how bad it's almost universally portrayed.
Thank the light. You've recovered the artifacts.
Remember the good old days? It says midnight, and then it immediately says, yeah, no, the good old days sucked. Here's what the good old days were actually like. Shove it into your face. Yeah, no, Mr. Red is correct. A lot of Midnight's theme is the bad old days. Let's just call it what it is. About how much stuff sucked, and how we are still trying to recover from that, and to do better than that.
I answer to the light.
Were they here to loot us, or did they just have some reason to seek out weapons of the light? I'll say a speculation for later. The Vanguard can use these weapons now. With them, we will push the Devouring Host off the city. Let's go with... we'll go with an axe. We'll be different.
Sharel Aran.
I mean, honestly, probably, yeah, as Miristar. People are so nostalgia blind in popular culture that it's entirely possible. People are like, wait a minute, why are you pissing on your legacy, your tradition, your history? And it's like, no, you're dumb.
The Vanguard is here to protect.
Lorewinner, the time has come. We must push these fiends to Sunreach Harbor. We drive them back into their accursed void portals and drive them from these sacred shores. For the light! For Azeroth!
Be the light, the dark Vanguard of the light! With me! Push these invaders back to the void that spawned them! For the light!
There's a Blood Elf monk here named I'm Healing You. So there's our raid boss over there, the behemoth.
But you must press on! Keep going! Do not succumb to the darkness!
Notice we're just powering more and more before the void. And so we have to kind of move in between these light things to keep moving.
We will push back the shadows!
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Moog.
Hurry, champion. We need
need your help against that behemoth.
All I will say is I called that a mile off, from a mile off. But I still love every moment of it.
Channel the light from the weapons you recovered. Drive this monster back to the void! Vanguard! Redouble your efforts! Today, the Void learns the power of light is supreme!
The old warrior thinks this will be his crowning achievement.
Show yourself, witch!
A paladin staring down the might of the void, with only the absolute conviction that he is right. So brave in the light, how will you fare lost in the void? You are only fragile mortals. You never had a chance.
Now there's multiple behemoths, and notice the visuals, and we are just take this in for a second. Take in what's happening around us here. Xal'atath is interesting in that her tactics are almost universally the same every time she does it. Like, almost every time, everything she does, she uses the same tactics, is what I mean. But it's a really solid strategy. She starts off with a relatively defeatable force, specifically to give her opponent hope. She allows that initial vanguard to lose, so that she can then release her actual forces. Not just because she can then fight the enemy when they're weakened, but because she is void. She wants to make her opponents doubt. And so most people see this and they're like, oh crap. Even though, yeah, we could probably actually push this back. But it's that 1-2 punch that makes it work so well. Yeah, exactly. How do you fight faith? With doubt.
Pleasantries can wait. Anaria shall not.
We need to fall back. This is not a battle we can win. Not like this. But there is still hope. The Sunwell brought the Vanguard of the Light here to defend it. It brought you. Fall back to the Sunwell Chamber and defend it for as long as we can. I have faith. The Light did not intend for us to lose this time.
Fight well. Turalyon, we must regroup at the Sunwell before it's too late!
Damn it all! Vanguard, fall back!
As a further addendum, it was a very minor touch, but one of my favorite details in that first cutscene. Liadrin is just reciting a chant over and over and over, trying to comfort herself and find faith in the light. It doesn't work. Because why would it?
Champion, mount up! Retreat to the Sunwell!
It didn't work until she gave a custom, bespoke, heartfelt plea to the Sunwell.
We made it! Light preserve us!
Yeah, the chant taught to her by her mentor. You know, the one who died to the Scourge.
The survivors to the Sunwell Chamber.
Didn't help him either.
The light once more to help us push back the devouring host.
Look at how many there are, by the way.
The Sunwell brought us salvation before. We must have faith that it will happen again.
Look at them all. Look at them all. Bingo, Talia. Real faith versus reciting a mantra. And hey, Turalyon's right over there. We'll get more into that later.
You are the last of the Vanguard to make it. I am the Blade of the Light.
Thank the light. Everyone from the Vanguard that survived is in the Sunwell Chamber. Now that you're here, we can begin.
I answer to the light.
Our attempts to fight Xal'atath's devouring host have failed. Our only hope is to call on the light once more and trust there was a reason it brought the Vanguard together. Lorena, you and Eretor need to protect the Sunwell from the devouring host. So few of us left, we cannot spare any more defenders. Only our faith in the light will save us.
Aldiel Shala. Sharel. Arator, champion, defend us as we perform the ritual.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of the genie-looking bastards so far. They're called Dominar. They're Sith. I'm just going to say that really bluntly. They're Sith. I'm not super impressed with them. But there's a few good scenes and story beats with them, so... By the way, you notice that glowing phoenix up there. Remember that for later. It's going to come up again. You'll notice they got rid of the Kill Jade mural, by the way. Did you catch that? Damn it, dog. I'll let you in a minute, okay? I swear. Kinda busy. Kil'jaeden's dead. Dead and gone.
Light guides my steps and illuminates my path. The light flows through me, and by its grace I am made one with all that is sacred. The light guides my steps and illuminates my path. The light flows through me.
I love Arator looking at her weird while she's doing the chant.
The light guides my steps and illuminates my path.
Yeah, she's back to the mantra. Arator is not. So then this happens. Imagine being in the city and seeing that, by the way. You can see that for miles.
Another miracle. Light be praised.
It isn't over, Liadrin. Our friends inside can't maintain this ritual indefinitely.
Have faith, Arator. This is the light of our salvation.
Really nice, quick detail. His eyes are golden, but only a little bit. Her eyes are glowing. Just straight burning gold glowing. She won't have her character arc until we get to the zone we will be doing second. Don't worry, she has a character arc. But right now, she's kind of riding the high, so to speak.
Anaria Shala.
May the light bless and protect you. Your defense of the Sunwell made this miracle possible. We have not beaten Xalatath, but we have forestalled the invasion of the Devouring Host. Now we have time to do 3 zones of quests and dungeons.
Fight well.
I proudly serve as Regent Lord.
Oh.
Silvermoon prospers.
I'm going to hold for a second. I just want to show something real quick before I progress. So there it is. Once again, you can see that for quite a ways. So here's the Sunwell right now. I'll just tell you right now, if you go into it, yes, it will kill you in seconds. Now, I'm just going to spoil something, sort of spoil something. When you come into this room, actually changes what the NPCs are and what they're doing. Right now, it's mostly just a bunch of people mourning their losses, right? Do you see them? And kind of trying to recoup. If at a later point in the MSQ, if we come in here, there will be quite a few named NPCs, mostly paladins and priests, who are maintaining this channel at severe cost to themselves. Like, people are on the verge of dying as they're essentially draining their life into making sure that this thing keeps happening. Now, what's really cool is if you come back even later, you'll see that they've set up this giant support structure. It's actually really cool, where there's healers and rest and food, people who are not priests or paladins who are contributing in some way to keeping the priests and paladins keeping it going. Everyone just kind of pulling their part and providing something in order to allow all these people in order to keep the freaking Sunwell going. I will try to remember to come back periodically to show this off. I apologize if I forget to. A little bit of column A and a little bit of column B push-ups. Like, this isn't fell energy or anything like that. However, they're definitely having some issues keeping this kind of an enchantment maintained. Hi, Dream Whisperer. Did I say hi already? And if you're wondering why this is a portal right here, that is the raid. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
The eternal sun still guides.
So many have come to the defense of Silvermoon and the Sunwell. Names and faces I did not entirely expect, and some familiar faces I am glad to see. You have my thanks for your portal, Runner. We have Xalatath's forces held for now, but this is far from over. I would include you in our next steps. Please meet me at the Sanctum of Light.
The vanguard of the light will need quarters and supplies.
I will consider it after I have consulted with the others.
I love that extremely quick back and forth. Spoilers, Lorthamar is a pretty good politician. He knows what he's doing pretty well. So he handles Turellian very well, very consistently. Turellian is a general. He demands resources and supplies and personnel and help as he goes through. Because, of course he does. Why wouldn't he? So yeah, this is only visible like early on. Here's the crowd wondering what the crap is going on. And the constructs and the guards keeping them from going to the Sunwell. Remember, people would go to the Sunwell regularly, not just on pilgrimages, temple, but literally just to visit. It was something, it was right over there, right? It was just something you could go to. Well, now they're being told no. I love these little details. Can I just say that? You only see this for a brief period of time. This goes away in like 2 layers. You'll also notice the docks is like completely empty right now because of the layer we're on. And I'm not going to show off Silvermoon proper yet because honestly, I need to take a break. I need a lunch break. But yes, I know how adventuring works. Thank you.
You are not needed. That isn't your decision to make.
So that's Umbric. You may not remember Umbric. He's only periodically shown up. He's one of the main face characters of the Void Elves. He's also been around for a while in the lore. Like, he's old school. Romoth is pretty much the head of the Magocratic Order of Silvermoon. He's got a giant stick up his butt. There, you can see it right there, see? He's clenching so hard just to keep that thing upright.
I greet you on behalf of Silvermoon. What I do for Quel'Thalas.
Okay, that should have scooched us forward a little bit. Let's go cut out of here. Oh, Ramoth is relatively young. The reason Ramoth is in charge is because everyone above him died. By the way, fun fact, that statement also applies to Lorthamar. Real quick, this technically isn't live yet, but I want to give pauses for it now. Basically just so I don't forget, okay? So, if we go in here, this is our weekly do a dungeon. And there's something we can do with the map, and Aethys has some stuff. There's the other zone we could do. I could go do Prey right now, which is right over there. I could do, what else? I'm trying to remember. Yep, I could do Abundance right now. Now, this all only applies to your second character and onwards. The first time through, you have to finish the MSQ to access the endgame content, okay? Of which there's quite a bit in Midnight. Thing is, all of that stuff is unlocked on an account. So my brand new fresh 80 can walk in here and do all that stuff now. Cool. Reason this is all relevant is in the next patch, they are increasing the rewards of all of that content substantially, most notably including the Experience Award, which they are boosting by a factor of 10 to 20. As in 20 times the experience gain. Now you might be wondering, what? So this is something I'm actually very in favor of. This is here to give players other options for what they can do. Variety in content for leveling. Put simply, you've already been able to quest or dungeon, but what this patch is going to do is make it so you could quest or dungeon or do, you know, pray or the pushbacks of the void assaults or delves or whatever, right? You could you could pick and choose. Do whatever it is you feel like to do, and you will gain a bundle of experience no matter which path you pick. That means you could focus fire the thing you like, or you can spread it out if you want some variety. That's awesome. I am tremendously in favor of that, to be very clear. Oh my god! Talia's died. I got you, Talia. Wait, don't release. Let me drain the agony from you, yes. Your anguish shall fuel Silvermoon. Do I not have it queued? Oh god, hang on. Oh, I don't have that on this character. Oh my god, I don't have the res item on this character. I can't res you. No! I can't res you on this character because I haven't been to Warlords yet. No! Well, I can't res you for another 10, or rip all the anguish out of you for 10 minutes. Yeah, I haven't got the brazier on this character. This character is actually very new. This was my Legion Remix character, by the way. That's as recent as Lore Runner exists. So real quick, I promised I'd say this on camera, and Mr. Rid's here, so I want him to be able to hear this. I promised I would talk about who Astalord is, okay? I'll be showing off his dialogue and cutscenes in a minute, but this is Astalord Bloodsworn. He is our NPC for doing the Prey content. With me? Here's the thing. This guy has been around since BC. In fact, he was one of the main magisters who was in charge of ripping the light out of Mauru in order to reconnect the Blood Elves to the light after the incident with the Sunwell. So, that's great, but you'll notice a trend is already being established there. He's evil for good intent, right? Like, you can see the pragmatism inherent. But there's a part about him that I really want to emphasize just really makes this guy an absolute garbage human being. He was involved in a quest in Warlords. There we go. I'm going to pull up the thing to read to you here. If I can find it. There it is. So, if you remember, and I don't blame you if you don't, because it's Warlords, there was a side quest in Warlords where the Draenei are like, the Draenei of Warlords are like, hey, you know, you guys say, you Blood Elves, this might have been a Horde only quest, you Blood Elves say you're here to help, but there's this Blood Elf in like one of our mines who's causing all kinds of problems. She's draining the energy of the crystals, and it's causing issues for our miners, and so your Blood Elf representative says, no problem, I got you. And there's this whole undercurrent of, we have to clean up this mess so that the Draenei trust us, because it's a diplomatic incident. So we go in there, and there's a Blood Elf woman who's going, Ma, I need more power. I need more power from this. I have to have all this energy to prove myself. And then we kill her, clean up the mine, and the Draenei says, okay, you've proven yourself. We're good. Everything's cool. But she drops a letter. They didn't have to do this. They didn't need her to drop a letter. But they did. And that letter reads as follows. It is with some regret I must inform you I am relieving you of your duties as my apprentice. I blame myself for being mistaken of your potential. I hope you can understand that even the most talented of mages sometimes make a mistake. At least now you can put your ineptitude behind you and pursue a more reasonable goal. Perhaps basket weaving may prove more suitable to your talents? Unfortunately, I do not associate myself with basket weavers specifically, and am too busy to write you a recommendation. Please return to Azeroth at your soonest convenience. Sincerely, Astalor. That's this asshole. A friend of mine has a theory that he's going to be the final boss of the prey mechanic. For those of you not aware, the prey mechanic is seasonal, which means, similar to like some of the other stuff that's seasonal, the content will rotate and change, and we'll get new suffixes and new challenges as the seasons go on. So the theory here is that Season 3, which is usually the end of a given expansion's content cycle, will be us going after him as the ultimate prey, because, you know, he's incredibly overtly and obviously evil. His entire story arc, in summary, is about ripping anguish out of people in order to use that power to, you know, bolster the wards or buff other people. What is prey? I'll show it off, Braylon, but in super summary, the way it works is you pick up a prey quest, you pick who you're going after, and each of them are going to be in one of the 4 principal zones here, right? You go to that zone and you do stuff. Any of the content you do in that zone counts. Eventually, you fill up an invisible bar. There's actually a visible bar, but whatever. That says, hey, you have found your prey. Then you go to a specific spot, and you fight a boss fight. There's normal, there's hard, and then there's the much more fun nightmare. Nightmare gives mythic level quality, like it gives you champions stuff, and it gives you 250 gear. It's really useful, it's really fun, and it's some really fun content, I think. But it can be a little frustrating to be in the middle of something and Astor suddenly says, kill for me! No! And you're like, oh, shoot. And then you have a few seconds to kill for him, or take about, I forget the number, it's like 200,000 damage. It's enough to kill anything that isn't a tank, or isn't receiving heals. Anyways, I have much and more to show off with regards to Silver Moon and all kinds of the stuff here. Where am I? There we go. Jesus Christ, Esmeristar. I'll go ahead and tell you right now, we are probably going to spend most of the next shift just showing off Silver Moon. I am already a little bit low energy, and I need to rest my arm because of the whole rib thing. So I'm going to take a break, but then I'm going to show off Silver Moon and just talk about how many thousands of positive it's going to get. Slight exaggeration. In terms of quest order, we're going to do Eversong, and then Suleiman, and then Eretor. That's going to be the rough order we do. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. And we'll be showing off each of the dells at least once. We're in no real hurry on that. And we'll be showing off the dungeons, and you get that. It's a usual WoW run. For now, see you in a bit.